Yeah. All right. Why waste time tonight?
Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike into the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
I bid you good morning, good evening, and good night wherever you be watching this transmission, whether you're watching us from your condo in the sky or your cabin or camper in the woods, or just couch surfing. Or maybe on a road trip in the back of a car, or you just caught this transmission by chance, or relaxing in your lazy boy. People of the night, welcome to Mike in the Night. It's 3 a.m. and something's moving you. So crack open a window, sit back, relax, sparkling water. I got some lemon water right here, some tea, or coffee. Because you're tuned into Mike in the Night, the voice of the Commonwealth. Broadcasting from some empty Manhattan, used to be like a big talk show here. I guess they wheeled everything out. Yeah, I just want to send a special hug. Thank you to everybody that has sent me emails all week long. And I want to send a special thank you to everyone that's come to visit me at my store. Yes, I'm a very accessible guy, easy to meet. I met someone today, yesterday, day before. I've been having a lot of people coming down and saying hi to me, talking and just talk the talk and kind of discussing and just what's going down, what's happening. Especially, we got our eye on Australia because Australia is a really big deal right now. And I'm kind of concerned on what's happening in Australia because, like I said, Australia is the test or the proving ground or whatever you want to call it, the petri dish for the Commonwealth, and it is heading here. And I've been saying this for years, not weeks, not months, but years. And we don't post-dick here, we predict here. We don't post-dick, but we predict.
I hate to break it to you guys.
So anyways, we got a few soundboards, just a Donald Trump soundboard. Now, remember when I told you guys, what was this, like a few weeks ago, that there's this small following that we have, or a decent following in Iceland? Well, in Reykjavik, the capital, apparently now, this is what I got here, okay, guys? So this is a small mass hall. So this is what they told me. They're not sending me an image, so they don't get in trouble for COVID lockdowns. But there's a small, they call it a mass hall in Iceland, with 41 people watching Mike in the Night right now on a projection screen, like on a projection thing right now, live in Iceland. So we're broadcasting in Iceland. We're also getting a couple of people tuning in to other parts, other areas of the channel, and I'll explain to you guys why. It's because there's this new translation thing that's happening with YouTube, so they could translate into other languages, like live streams now. They could do recorded stuff. Now, if you go to a live stream, there's quite a bit of a delay, but there's a translation into another language now. So I'm going to start promoting on my Portuguese channel to come on here, watch it in English, but there'll be a translation into Portuguese, right? For people that still watch me on that channel. So we got a lot of shout outs here. We got JJ in Nebraska sending shout outs. We got Nolan Kanga in Tucson, Arizona. We got Mike in Santa Barbara. We got Jetroff in Helsinki. JM Small in Detroit. Nikki in Miami. Sean DeFrias in Lisbon, Portugal. Marco in West Attleboro, Massachusetts. We got lots of shout-outs here to go through, so we'll try to get through them through the whole show. Yeah, guys, sit back, relax. Let's do a quick channel plug and discuss what is happening, where it's happening, how it's happening. And there's just so much confusion. And you could feel it because nobody knows who's tricking or treating anymore. Yeah, okay, they got this big plan in place. Yeah, well, there's 7 billion of us. So, like, there's lots that's happening right now. And, well, we'll get to it right now. So we got people rolling in to the comments right now. Live comments. If you want to join us on YouTube too, we got live comments there. We're on other platforms in Russia and Eastern Europe that are not YouTube, that this is also streaming on too. Okay, so we got Mike Banks on YouTube, Owen on YouTube, Blunt News, Big Rob New Zealand, Metal Gear Mark III, Jay Borg, Ralphie from New Zealand. Check out his channel. He said he's been doing filming lately, so he's growing his channel. And Real Kevin Thompson, always here to make sure things are in line, right? Okay, guys, so let's get to article scan right now, guys. You are tuned into Mike in the Night, People of the Night. Whoa, if you feel all right. Okay, guys, here we go, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to set your reminders. I'm going to put more Mike in the Nights up here and more trends in the housing market next week. Mike in the Nights, it's just called Words of the Wise. I just make up names for stuff because we don't even know what the heck is going to happen in like an hour. So we could be doing this and then an hour from now, this huge story that basically a huge story that would happen once a year in a normal time frame like we used to will happen every other hour now. So breaking news it was breaking news every year. There was something major. Now it's every 8 months, and then it changed to every 6 months, and then it's every 3 months, and then every couple of weeks, and now it's flipping over to every other hour. There's something happening that would realistically happen once a year. And now, yes, these are very unsustainable, unturbulent, well, who knows, man, mysterious times. So, guys, don't forget to check down last week's Mike in the Night was really good, and all the Mike in the Nights here. A lot of people just have this playing randomly. Don't forget to check out trends in the housing market. Last week was a good show. It was pretty stall. We stalled at the beginning getting a caller on, but then we got a pile of callers on. Don't forget to check out just other videos I got up here. This video here is a big deal. Canadian middle class in serious trouble. You better watch this if you're living in Canada, Australia, America, England, United Kingdom, South Africa, Jamaica, and Iceland. You want to watch this. Canadian middle class in serious trouble. And now what's happening is there's a couple of things getting out of hand, right? So I did a video today about some company that had a grand opening, and then they had this
guy's maybe a manager.
This rice cooker thing. They're giving away a rice cooker to the first free 100 customers in Calgary, Canada. And the problem with this is this could spark a bigger, oh, they're doing this? We're going to have to lock down the province. And that's what's going to happen. They're going to see things like this, and they're going to push to a lockdown. And that's what I'm scared about. I'm scared about them taking things further here in Canada than because no one's obviously social distancing. So, we know what's going on. And the problem is they're going to push this agenda as far as they could exhaust it. And now there's rumors of it going for now until 2050. So just place your helmets on and get ready for tonight's show. Okay, guys, we got, don't forget to buy something on Teespring, Mike in the Night. Don't forget to, someone just sent porn there. I don't know why somebody would send that, but somebody just sent some porn there. Guys, I don't think it showed up there for too long, but someone sent porn. I'm not sure where that was coming from, but that was coming from somebody in the chat section there to try and probably sabotage the show. Last week we got some guy on there creating 50 accounts. So there it is there, guys. Don't forget to send me messages here on Facebook. Please don't send me porn. I don't know what that is and why that's like that. But let me refresh that. There it is there. I don't know what I just sent you guys, but I'm getting some viruses here this week. Okay, there it is there. Yeah, I get it. It's just bizarreness. Guys, don't forget to check out Art by Dano. Please follow him. He's really good. He's making a caricature for me. I really appreciate it. And all right, let me see if I can paste this. Check out Art by Dano. And guys, don't forget to check me out. If you guys want to send me a show tip, please go ahead. Don't send me porn, please. Thank you. That's the oldest trick in the book. Okay, let's keep going here. Someone's asking about the mop on my head. Yes, this is a mop. And it's nice. It looks so good. And it feels good to have hair. And I got the undercut going on. So, yeah. Someone says, you'll have to edit that, Mike. Yeah, I could go back in later and just clip it out. It doesn't really matter. I'll go in there and clear it. I could even what do you call it? It's kind of blur it out. But, I mean, it's just people doing this kind of stuff. It's very childish, you know. And someone didn't send me that. They sent that in a group message with 197 people. I keep getting added to these group messages on Facebook with 200 plus people. And I keep leaving these groups, and I keep getting added to these groups all the time. And then there's people sending porn and all kinds of weird stuff to disrupt the group. I'm not even commenting on there. Sometimes, I remember one time when you get the status or you get updates and stuff, and I'm like, holy crap, my phone's gonna blow up. What's going on? Oh, I've been added to a message or a group at 2 a.m, waking me up and my kids. Yeah. Okay, might get a mullet. New school rules, 10 days a month for 10 months. I hope that's not true. Beyond the Pale says, I did check out Daniel's art. Yeah, Daniel's really good. Fake News says, CNBC. What does that say there? Hold on a sec. Someone says, Mike, the 2 pairs of Mike and the Knights, I still every time I wear them and get complaints on them from wow. Mike, the 2 pairs of Mike and the Knights tights. Oh yeah, VC. I still I guess wear them every time. I get compliments on them from all ages. Yeah, for sure. My wife wears the Mike and the Knight stuff. Yeah, Ralphie's saying Facebook's rubbish. We got Aquarius in the house. We got Gem Rose in the house. We got Steph or T in the house. We got Papa Pissed in the house. Tignim in the house. Oh, people of the night. Welcome to Mike in the Night. Woo.
Hello, everyone. China.
Yeah.
China.
All right. Okay, let's get to some headline news and we'll get our first caller in. What do we got in the headlines today? Well, we got some. So I got a little bit of comparison check here for you guys. So this is from February. This is from February of this year. Bill mandating vaccines for all Virginia school children raises concerns. This is from February 2020. And then we go to today's date. Same journalist too, eh? That's kind of funny. It's the 2 same journalists. Virginia Health Commissioner says he'll mandate the COVID vaccine. So there you go. They're going to start mandating this crap, and that's what she wrote. Now the question is, there are a lot of rumors going around on how they're going to administer the mandatory vaccines, whether it's going to be military, door to door. Man, there's like so many ways they could do it. They have drive-thrus too. They have drive-thrus for vaccines too. So not for COVID, but they have drive-thrus and they exist. Okay, so that's that. Then we got this one that's floating around. This is actually true. I spoke to a defector who travels between North and South Korea on a, I don't even know if I should tell the frequency because they might be able to track down who it is. But it's somebody that does travel between the two countries in a, I don't even want to tell you what kind of format it is. Well, I'm not going to say anything. But anyways, this is true. This is like 100% true. And they're trying to backtrack it and say, no, we never said that. That's fake news. But yeah, it's actually true. And amid for food shortages, North Koreans Kim Jong-un orders citizens to give up dogs for meat. So they're trying to backpedal it. They're trying to backpedal it or trying to bring it back that, oh, no. We never said nothing like that. We're kind of like implementing to have their dogs ready in case we need extra meat. And that is,
And yes,
a big deal, actually, to be honest with you, when you got a leader announcing something like this and kind of throwing that out there, you know, for the masses. And is China running out of food? Xi Jinping's Clean Plates campaign is causing rare anxiety. Really? China causing anxiety? That's never happened in the history of China. Where's I love China? Where's I love China?
I love China.
Okay. Is China running out of food? Some veteran China watchers believe that the campaign against food waste kicked off by Xi Jinping last week is a part of a long-term effort to increase self-sufficiency in food. A new national campaign against food waste in China has sparked a rare bout of speculation over the government's ability to safely feed its 1.4 billion citizens when faced with floods, epidemics, locusts, and rising tensions with some of its biggest trading partners, right? So I guess the only thing that makes sense, which China's bought up a lot of land in Africa with its debt, that it's created debt in Africa for the Africans to pay. The Africans can't pay it back, and the Chinese bring in farmers and then just start farming the land in Africa and sending the food back to China. That's one thing that's one idea that they have. And there's something inside. I'm not going to read that on my channel in the comments there. Yeah, wiener dogs, wiener schnitzel. Yeah, China stopped buying Australian wine too. Apparently, from Anna Keys telling us this in the comments, who lives in Australia. Gotta live in the moment. Okay, I see what they're saying there. Yeah, China is buying mucho USA soybean. All right, let's move back to this top stories here. China declares food on food waste. We covered that. What is this? Okay, it was all this advertising on here. Farmers warn of nationwide food shortages if stubborn politicians refuse to open state borders, leaving supermarket shelves empty. Upcoming harvest season could be heavily impacted by border restrictions, could result in food shortage on supermarket shelves across the country. Growing calls for those in the agriculture industry to move freely across borders. Yep. Oh, lettuce. Okay, so where is this? Oh, this is in Australia. This is for the Daily Mail, right? Yeah. It's not. Oh, this is Daily Mail from Australia. So, yeah, you're going to start seeing this in Australia real soon. Guys, don't you panic, because it looks like this is what they're pushing for. Border restrictions could result in more bare shelves unless more is done to support the farming and agricultural industries. Pictured are empty shelves taken in Melbourne in August 2nd. So that's going to be happening in Australia. Well, I don't want it to happen, but it will be happening in Australia. Barley farmers Megan Rowan from New South Wales fear they'll be hit hard in Queensland border closures during the upcoming harvest season. You know what? Keep the food for yourself. Find a way to preserve it, man. Keep it for yourself. If you can't sell it, keep it. United Nations agency sound alarm over food shortage crisis expected in Yemen. Yemen's been in a crisis like during the mid-Obama administration. So mid-Obama administration, Yemen's been in a crisis. So California fires, governor asks Australia for help. So we got the governor, basically the Californian governor asking Australia for help. Australia has a lot of experience in putting out fires and all kinds of stuff. So here's the fire map right here. We got fires. Man, it's dotted all over California. So it looks like just spotted all over. Like really bad acne or some really bad case of measles or something like that. Okay, we brought this up. I'm going to bring it up again. At least 3 million Kenyans face acute food shortage. This is a big deal. 3 million people is a lot of people. Millions of Kenyans are currently severely food insecure. United Nations Office for the Coordination of Humanitarian Affairs report says, according to the OCHA, planned assessments in July, August are expected to confirm increase of food insecurity, with some estimates projecting 3.5 million people facing an acute food shortage. Yeah, that's not
I love China.
not good. Biblical locust plagues of 2020. So they're going all over these. This is from the 6th of August. East Africa is seeing the worst swarms of locusts in many decades. How can these ravenous pests be stopped? So there it is. Desert locusts. Locust invasion that swept over farms in rural Kenya from December 2019 has left farmers in Ndvu not only counting crop losses, but struggling with emerging environmental and health problems. This is a big deal. This is a big problem, and we've been covering it here on the channel for a good while now. And it is, look at it, it's taking out the bananas, it's taking out all the good stuff. Kenya was 1 in 9 beneficiaries of $1.5 million grant given to the International Authority of Development in April by the African Development Bank. So they got $1.5 million? You can't even buy a house in Vancouver for $1.5 million. Really? So there it is. Look at the corn. That's corn. Wait. Let me check here. Crops have devastated the desert locusts, with millions facing acute fortunes in the second half of the year. Okay, I just want to see when... Is that corn? It's not telling us what it is. It looks like a corn. That looks like a corn cob there. All right, let's move on. Water wars will increasingly fuel African and Middle East conflicts. I have to pay $100 to watch this. So this is it right here, guys. We've been talking about water wars too on this channel for a good while now. Water wars are a big deal, and I think, oh, Mike, there's so much water. There's so much fresh water. It rains all the time. What are you talking about? There are countries where you got to transport water to. Okay? Okay, I know in Libya, Libya wanted to build a desalination plant to convert seawater into drinkable water, and they were struck down for doing it. They can't do that. They can't build a desalination plant. It's illegal because you're gonna drain all the seawater, and then then all the junk you're gonna see all our trash on the bottom of the sea floor. So why are people being censored in the comments? What's going on, guys? All right, let's keep going here. All right, it's my Google. Got some zero hedge articles here. Let's get. You know what? I wanted to get. Let me get Craig on the show first. Let me get Craig on the show. I told Craig he could come on the show first, and then we will kick off the show with Craig. Let's see if we have him here. There he is here. Give us an update.
Mikey.
Craig, how are you, my brother?
Oh, good. Hey, everyone.
Okay, buddy. Craig's down in New Zealand, in Auckland, or outside of Auckland, or 1 mile outside of Auckland. What's going on, Craig? What's the word on the street down there? What's the shutdowns? Is there shutdowns?
All
What's
right.
going on?
So we had our second wave about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and they put us back into level 3 in Auckland. And what they done was, and the rest of the country's in level 2. So level 3 means essential services can go to work. We can go to work because we're in construction, but your restaurants and are closed, your bars are closed, your movies are closed, the gym's closed, most retail is closed, except for supermarkets and garages and the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Social distancing, got to wear masks.
So you can't have a pool party like in Wuhan?
No. No, you can't. And what they've done is, because they've closed all the roads out of Auckland, Mike. So, as you know, I drive a truck, and where we go tip is down on the other side of the Bombays, which is the southern border of Auckland.
Mm-hmm.
So they let all the trucks through on one side, and all the cars are, they go through roadblocks, and now the police and the army are out, and they essentially, if it's not essential, they turn you around to go home. We had about
first things first. Hold on, Craig. First things first. First, guys, look to my right or my left. And that's the Wuhan pool party last week. Big pool party, about 70,000 people on the streets and in the pool. Well, not 70,000 in the pool. There's about 3,000 in the pool, but most people out on the streets. Big Wuhan party. This is on MSNBC News, so this is a real
serious?
Huh?
You serious?
Are you watching the show? Huge pool party. Huge. This is in Wuhan. Entry requirements were monitored while health codes were required from an app to track movement. So there it is right there. Wuhan pool party, guys.
I know. I'm on my phone, so I can't watch.
You can't make this stuff up.
Yeah, it's crazy. So no, we've had that, and they were supposed to review it tomorrow, but it looks like it's going to extend further. They've mucked up the quarantine facilities, just like they did in Melbourne. With that, the election's going full swing now. Everyone's taking pot shots. The usual spin. Oh, we'll do a better job. The other party's saying, oh, we'll do a better job than this lot. And then the people in power now are saying, no, we've done a good job. And they have the wage subsidy and all that, and that's going to go through to the election. And so we've got that going on. Plus, I saw in the paper, I think it's around 100,000 mortgages are in trouble. They deferred their mortgage. Mm-hmm. Oh, what do you call it?
Yeah, we talked about that on Mike of the Night. That's a big deal. That's happening right across the Commonwealth, where people. And did you see that article I read yesterday about how now in Australia and New Zealand they're asking people that can't afford their mortgages now to sell their homes?
Yeah, I did, and I've seen some videos on that. And
let's give away our futures now that we own a place. Now let's give that back away.
Well, that's right. And I saw another article, Mike, and I think it's from UK, and the old people or the boomers were trying to say, oh, hey, you should let us, just forgive the mortgage now because we're old. Yeah. I thought, come on, what do you want? You got cheap housing, good wages, good times, and now you want to forgive the debt? Like, come on. No. That's not right.
Now, let me ask you something, Craig, and it's kind of like a backwards question I want to ask you. You work in construction, and why is construction essential when a lot of people, a majority of people that live in New Zealand or the New Zealand proper can't even afford to buy a home locally?
Well, that's a good question, isn't it? But I think it's a matter of the owners or the dictators. the government has to do what they've been told by the people that really run the show with the banks. That would be kind of my guess at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay.
We have a couple of other things as well. There's a couple of other effects of this, the lockdown, the way they shut the world down, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
Been a cry out in New Zealand for from the farmers, because normally they get immigrants to come in
Mm-hmm.
and work on the farms.
Mm-hmm.
So, now they're trying to get Kiwis back on the farms to work. And the tourism industry is dead.
I know the tourism industry is getting a huge kick in the pants there in New Zealand, because I was actually talking to a tourism minister in New Zealand last week, and they were telling me that they're having a really tough time getting money to promote New Zealand or visit New Zealand. They got almost like no money this year, and it looks like they're getting no money next year too. So apparently this thing might drag on for a couple of years.
Yeah, it looks that way, and it's not really good. It's not really good what's coming down the road, and I have to agree with you and the other callers. This mortgage cliff, what's going on, and I really don't know what's happening with the property market. Unfortunately, I don't see it going down, because we have an image here where we're safe and clean and green. We're not really. It's a bit like Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Like all these places, they hold us up to be clean and green and natural, but when you come down here, it's like, well, no, actually, it's not like that at all. It's expensive. It's hard to make a living, but for a lot of people in the world, they think, oh, I'll go to New Zealand, it's safe, and so
very overpriced, very expensive.
Oh yeah, but we've got hundreds of thousands, even millions of people who want to come down here, just because of, and also because of the political tensions, in the South China Sea and all that stuff.
Oh, the South China Sea has been a disaster in the making. Like anything China touches, kind of like, it's just almost like, I don't know. So here it is, guys. Let's go back to the Wuhan. This is the Wuhan pool party from last week. Well, I'm so grateful that they've cleared all the cases in China. They have no second, no third wave. They have everything going good in China. The origin country of the virus is fully cleared out. Everything's going good. And but in Australia, this thing could go on till 2050.
Oh yeah, I mean Aussies having a real hard time, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, your heart goes out to them. People can't even get up and go to work.
Mm-hmm. And this is I don't know. I know I'm being kind of satire-ish with this. And did you see my G.I. Jose video I put up yesterday?
I might have. What was that about?
That's the one where a message from our great leader.
Oh yeah. That was a
great
so
video,
funny.
guys. If you haven't seen the G.I. Jose message from our Canadian leader, I'm just gonna throw this up here for you guys. Craig, if you don't mind, I'm just gonna play this for a few seconds. A message from our great leader here in Canada. I think it's phenomenal with G.I. Jose playing the part. I'm surprised they haven't taken this down yet. Here it goes, guys.
It's a Team Canada effort, and since March, we've shipped out millions of pieces of personal protective equipment to our provincial and territorial partners.
So this is it right here.
Whether it's hospital gowns, gloves, face shields, or masks, we're working around the clock to help our essential workers.
So I've made this,
guys. At the
same
time, we've invested in production here
overlaid
at home.
the voice, try to match
Earlier
the lips.
this summer, we announced a contract with General Motors to produce 10 million face masks at their plant in Oshawa, items that are already rolling off the line. Not only does this create good middle-class jobs, it also helps ensure that we have the capacity to make whatever we need.
So I just kind of wanted to throw that out. Go ahead, Craig. G.I. Jose.
Just to throw something else in the mix. Now I understand. And it's just my understanding here, but I understand. The Australians and probably the Americans on the show are quite ones to get out there and protest and really get in the face of the government and say, well, this is this is BS, and we're not going to follow these rules. But New Zealand is a lot more British, more conservative. But I did notice something when I was driving around now on the Monday, the first lockdown. I would estimate there would have been at least 20 or 30,000 cars going up those hills, essentially breaking the rules. So as far as, we won't get out and protest, but we will kind of do it in a, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? In a passive aggressive way. We'll kind of people protesting a bit through their actions. So there would have been, like I said, at least 30,000 people trying to break the rules on the Monday. And the cops were just turning them around and saying, no, you've got to go home. You can't come out. So this time around with the lockdown, there's a lot more people, really pushing the limits.
Do you think people are starting to wake up to this con?
Yeah, I do. There's a lot more people going to see their friends. There's a lot more people having their grandkids come over, or going to see their grandkids, or you know what I mean, going to see their girlfriend, or hooking up for random dates. Or,
so guys, this is the party in Wuhan here in the background. Wuhan pool party from last week. 70,000 people total at the party. A couple of thousand in that pool last week.
Yeah, so there's a lot more of that compared to the last lockdown, Mike.
Well, hold on, Craig. As long as they don't order KFC here at this party, because KFC, for some reason in Australia, likes to call the police on people that order
that's right.
big orders. You heard about that, right?
Yeah, or I think that guy got done in Melbourne because didn't he order KFC or Pizza Hut?
Right, so they're playing investigation Nancy Drew and calling the police saying, oh, these guys ordered too much food. What if it's Fat Albert?
Come on,
seriously.
Mike, come on, you can't offend the fat people.
Yeah,
Fat lives matter. Fat lives matter too, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
You can't offend anyone, and you can't offend the blue people or the Smurfs or the Reds or the yellow. Because you might hurt their feelings, and then you'll be in big trouble with the ABCs.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's what's happening. But definitely, there's been a bit of a, like I said, a shift in people passively, aggressively breaking the rules and saying, well, this is definitely a bit of a con, and people are waking up to it. And
do you see them enforcing draconian laws and then starting to say, hey, we gave you guys a chance, now you're breaking the rules, and we're going to come in with swift iron fist to keep you guys from stopping to spread this thing? Do you think they're allowing this little wiggle room in New Zealand to allow them to bring in more draconian measures?
I do see, unfortunately, I do see that as, I do see that happening. I wish I was wrong, but I see it as, I think they definitely have that option now. The powers that be definitely have that option. But it's one of those things where it's not on the news, no one's talking about it, but everyone can see it. Yeah, like I was doing a job on the shore, which is over the Harbour Bridge on the other side of town, and it's quite a rich, affluent area. Oh, that's one of your $2 million house suburbs, by the water. So, and I saw hundreds of people out walking their dogs, biking around, no mask, no social distancing.
This just might be a setup. All right, Craig, it's been 15 beautiful minutes talking to you, brother. And,
I love the call. I appreciate it. I'll keep watching.
Keep watching, and get us some fresh meat for next week, eh?
Yeah, definitely. Yes,
I like that protein, that good red meat, eh?
Yeah, that's the one. And keep positive. Love to hear, by the way.
Thank you. It looks cool, man. Yeah, it's good to have hair once in a while.
What was that show in the 80s? Miami Vice.
Yeah.
You just need your glasses.
Yeah, could put some glasses on. Yeah, I think I overdo it with the glasses. It's good like this, you know.
No, it looks good, mate. Boss.
Okay, thank you, Craig. God bless you. We'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. And shout out to everyone.
Yep, thank you, Craig.
Bye-bye.
Bye. That's Craig down from Auckland, New Zealand. Guys, I'm going to go on a weather tracker. I got this from MIA, Miami News, sent me this. Papa Piss just sent me $2.79. Thank you. So, guys, here it is, guys. We're tracking the Storm 2 here in the background. This is by Laura and Marco. Hurricane tropical storms might upgrade to a level 2, level 3 hurricanes. Right now, they're tropical depression. So we'll be keeping track of this, watching this through the show just to make sure, you know what I'm saying? It's not going to make landfall in Florida. It's going to hit the landfall in Texas. Maybe we'll ask Walking Journey if he's okay, if he's prepared for the storm. And I just wanted to throw that out there, letting you know. Thank you. This was sent to us by MIA Miami News down in South Beach, down in A1A South Beach, Florida, located out of South Beach, Florida. That watches people there watch Mike in the Night. Thanks for watching, guys. Okay, guys, let's go back to what's going on here with man. What's going on? All right, well, we got some. I don't even know if I could read some of these headlines here. Let's go back to articles. I don't think I could even read some of these. Some of these are arrest made in viral hate crime against 7-year-old with a mega hat. Make America Great hat. Wow. I mean, for someone to put their hands or say something to a child. Yeah. You got absolute devilish soul. Absolute garbage. For someone to do that to a child. Oh, no. Oh, no. This person has guts to do that. Another person doesn't have guts. Person's a piece of garbage to do. Person to do something like that to a child? To a 7-year-old? No. Garbage. Trash. What have the Democrats done to solve anything? Oh, God. It's so political. Trump jabs FDA for rejecting HCQ. America's most and least affordable places to buy a home. We covered this on trends in the housing market. We covered every country in the Commonwealth, where to buy and where not to buy. And AI fighter jet destroys top Air Force pilot in simulated dogfight. Okay, let's get some news here. Okay, Michigan colleges unleashes mandatory app to track students at all times. So that's where they're headed. They're going to track you on your phones. And you know what? They're going to make it mandatory that you have a phone. They're going to make it mandatory that you have a phone. So that they could track you. You know, I have a feeling that in 5 years, in 2 years, if you don't have a phone on you, you could be like not having your driver's license and driving a vehicle. Where's your phone? I don't have a phone. You have to have a phone because we have to track you.
And we're going to have a lot of fun tonight.
Oh, yeah. So, Michigan College unleashes mandatory app to track students at all times. Hold on. Wuhan pool party. We got to do a little interruption once in a while with the Wuhan pool party. Yeah. All right. We're tracking the app here. This app tracking here. Okay, guys, let's go back to full here. All right, guys, let's get another caller on. Let's find out what the heck is going on here. I need to, after reading some of them headlines there. House passes $25 billion post office bailout as Trump rages on Twitter. Guys, remember, let's do a reality check here. It is an election year, and things like this will happen. Oh, it's Stephanie. Steph, what's up?
Mike, how's it going? Mike in the Night.
Yeah, baby, you're on with Mike in the Night. How you doing, Stephanie? Stephanie is in Florida. Are you still in Florida?
Yes, I'm in Orlando.
Okay, good. Okay, so what is happening there, lockdown-wise? What can you give us a little bit of an insight on what's happening?
Well, we're still in the second phase since freaking 1st of June. they've actually, not long after they opened up, restaurants with bars and that kind of thing, they actually close by campus where I'm at, they actually shut down several bars and restaurants with bars because people supposedly, suspectively got, that cerveza sickness thing from these places. And as a result, they had to close down these establishments totally. The local county and the state came in and said, you have to close. So it's been pretty devastating otherwise.
It looks like
it's not...
Those two storms look like they're not going to make landfall in Florida.
No, we just had a heavy rain system come through here a couple hours ago. It finally stopped raining, but it's kind of common, for later in the day for the storms to come through because it's so much more hot and humid here during the summer that this is the rainy season. But yeah, they were predicting it was supposed to hit Tallahassee and then kind of work its way, kind of eastward from there. But now they're saying both of these systems could hit Texas and Louisiana, Mississippi.
Right, in the panhandle
which
there.
Yeah, if it hits Louisiana, because, most of, especially New Orleans and the lower part there, it's all below sea level.
Yeah,
so
that's
pretty
dangerous.
Yeah, it's very easy for those areas to get flooded out very fast.
Stephanie,
especially in the New Orleans region.
Do they have military checkpoints anywhere there that you know of?
No. I left back about a month ago to go to Texas. I drove there and came back, and this time coming back, they didn't stop me and ask me, if I'd been exposed to any of this crap or whatever. Mm-hmm. Although, let me tell you some very disturbing news, that on my way back, or I should say on my way to Texas, I stopped overnight. I won't name the state, but when I checked into the hotel, I walked in, I was very tired, the air was very thick and humid. I couldn't hardly breathe. So I walked in the hotel just to get my room card and go to my room. And the night clerk demanded I put a mask on. And I showed him my app where I had, where I'm exempt from medical conditions, not to have to wear a mask. I said, look, dude, I'm just here for like 2 minutes. Please give me my room card. I prepaid this and everything. He kept telling me if I didn't put a mask on, he was going to call the cops on me. I said, are you kidding me? This is against the law. I said, there is no law that mandates that I have a mask on. It might be a recommendation or a mandate, but it's not the law, And so the guy goes, you're just giving me a hard time. I'm just trying to do my job. He got on the phone and called the police to make them aware that I would not leave the establishment. I would not pay for my room, even though that was all a lie, and that I didn't have a mask on, and I refused to put one on. Okay? So I was like, I cannot believe this is happening to me in my country. Okay? It really, I went ahead. I said, you know what? I'm very tired. I've been driving for 12 hours. I put on the mask very briefly. He hung up the phone. He goes, wasn't that so easy? I said, you know what?
Wow.
You're nothing but a sheeple.
So
I
he's
said,
trying to educate you, make you better person by following the status quo of what he thinks is right and what he thinks he knows is right, and he doesn't even know what is what. He just struts.
Right. He tried to dumb me down and make me feel like I'm the outcast that comes in looking normal, not wearing a mask. He says, you're my only guest I've had to do this to. You're my only guest that hasn't been cooperative. So I said, you know what? I'm probably your only guest that's had common sense.
Well, Stephanie, here's the deal. If everyone else was wearing a mask and you're not, what do the people have to worry about if they're all wearing masks anyways?
This is what I tried to tell him. I said, dude, you got how many inches of plexiglass in front of me that I'm having to talk to you through? You're wearing a mask and gloves. I'm more than 6 feet from you. So what's the problem?
You should have
said,
asked him
"I'm
if he
just
was wearing
doing
a condom too.
I pretty much should have. I should have asked him if he had his head screwed on properly, because
The
in my
United
opinion,
States of
he
America.
didn't. He goes, "Well, you seem like a smart lady. You know what? What are you, an attorney or something?" I said, "It's none of your effing business." And so this is a 5-star hotel that I had to deal with doing this. This wasn't just some roach coast place off the side of the interstate. This was a very nice part, you know, and so I was just like, whatever, it's whatever. So on the way back, coming back to Florida where I stayed overnight, before he handed me my key, he put a temperature gauge up to my forehead to make sure I didn't have a temperature. He didn't ask me, he didn't tell me, he didn't do any of these things other than just automatically do it and go, "You're fine, you're in good
So
health."
what is a receptionist at a hotel gonna do if your temperature is, or you're warm, or you're in a heated debate with this person and you're heating up, your blood's boiling, and then they go check your temperature, and what are they gonna do if it's 2 degrees over?
Well, that's what I was saying. I was like, you know, I called the next day and I complained. I was so upset. I was like, had I not been so tired, I mean, I felt like a zombie, you know, because you driving from Texas is kind of a long ways. I thought I could have made it home, but I couldn't. I'd been driving, you know, for like more than 12, 13 hours at that point. I was like, I'm not going to make it. I'm really tired. I had to pull over, you know, because I didn't want to get the cops pulling me over thinking I have a DUI or something, even though I hadn't been drinking, because I was so tired, you know, I needed to get off the road. But then didn't have the clerk check my temperature.
Yeah.
He's not even a healthcare that's illegal. The guy, I didn't give him permission, nor was he a healthcare person.
Stephanie, I got a question in the comments for you. Because you're in Florida, right? So
yes.
750 million genetically engineered mosquitoes approved for release in the Florida Keys. Do you know anything about that?
Yes. They've been putting out a public announcement about people making sure they wear plenty of sunscreen, which obviously the mosquitoes are, you know, they're definitely, there's a chemical in certain sunscreens and that people put on that bugs are attractive to, that basically can make you, you know, very sick if enough of them, you know, mosquito infect. So yeah, there's been a huge mosquito issue this year. Last summer it was more or less the love bug thing, you know, that we had here, but this summer not so much of that, which is weird. I almost knew that because they suspected it every summer. It happens. This summer I barely saw maybe a handful of love bugs, which was weird. And I'm thinking, wow, there's something not right here. But to make matters even worse, now I haven't even finished this, but to make matters worse, to get onto my college campus, mind you, thankfully I only have to go to campus one day a week, one night a week, because it's a smaller class with only 15 of us that they're putting in a classroom that normally accommodates 75 to 100. But before I can even get on campus and get into the building and or the classroom, I had to download an app on my phone so that the school knew in order to enroll me in my classes, and I have to check in every time I go to campus on this app to say whether or not I've had COVID, or if I've been anyone that's been exposed to it, or if I'm having symptoms of it, and or to get permission just to get on campus, to go into a building, to go sit in a classroom and sit in a class wearing a mask for 3 hours.
Holy
I'm like,
crap.
I'm not kidding you.
Oh, I believe you. I can't believe this is happening in our lifetime.
I know. I'm like, I called the administrator. I said, this isn't right. Who are you to I was like, you know what? I'm so upset. I swear, Mike, if I wouldn't have been so close to graduation, I would have definitely transferred out of this college. And the only reason why I'm having to stay to go to one class a week and not just do complete online is because to get all my benefits through the VA, they require that you take so many hours on campus in order to get your full amount of money. So had it not been for that, I would be sitting comfortable probably in the mountains hibernating with the bears doing online classes, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the other thing. Since the lockdown and since all the people, they were requiring people to quarantine coming from the Northeast. But then they just let up on that not but a couple of weeks ago. Well, I'm not kidding you. From July till August, I have never seen so much in my lifetime, so many Northeast license plates.
Yeah, a lot of New Yorkers are moving to Florida now in huge numbers.
It's getting very bad. Availability is very, very bad right now. Apartments, houses. My ex-roommate is a lender, and she told me she cannot keep up with the amount of lending applications that she's having to process right now for people coming from the Northeast paying cash for houses here. Okay? So can you imagine, you think it's bad in Canada, you know what that's going to do? Because you have to afford a one-bedroom apartment in Orlando area or most of Florida. You have to make about $25 an hour to be able to afford it by yourself.
Yeah, it's getting pretty bad down there.
Most people here, they don't make but minimum wage. The minimum wage in Florida is barely $7-8 an hour, Mike. And most people here do not make on average anything more than $15 an hour. That's not going to be able to afford a one-bedroom apartment, which is close to about $1,200-1,300 a month right now.
Mm-hmm.
If you're lucky. I'm paying almost $1,200 a month, right at $1,200 a month, and I barely have 700 square feet.
Wow.
That's what it gets.
When I got my first place down in South Florida, I think I was paying like $770 a month for a 3-bedroom, 3-bath with an ensuite and a big balcony in like a beautiful condo with tennis courts and a gated community with tennis courts and pools and everything.
If I were you, I would Google that same address and find out how much rent is going for. It would probably blow your mind.
Yeah.
That's how much it's gotten. I mean, they say that it's been kind of bad and there's a lot of foreclosures and forbearances and all that. But the thing is, they wanted this in order for all these investors to come in and swoop up and buy all this cheap real estate if and when the market happens, which I have a feeling it's going to happen within the next couple of months. Because the locals here, a lot of them are like me in my situation. They're moving out of the area just as fast as they can because it's getting way too expensive here, and the pay isn't here. You know, and it gets kind of old. Like, I mean, it might be 95, 100 degrees outside here, but then it feels like 115, and then your utility bill is at easily $150, $200 a month.
Wow.
You know, I don't know about you, but I can think of a lot more places to live where they got 4 seasons, a little bit cooler. You know,
no, I hear you. Okay, Stephanie.
But I just wanted to call and tell you about all this stuff that little by little is they're trying to make it seem normal or feel normal, and it's not. I'm just like, I'm fighting back, and yet they threaten to call the police on me.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Or they threaten to unenroll me in college because I want to grow. And they even emailed me the other day saying that I might be subjective to a random COVID test.
A COVID test, eh?
Yes.
Okay.
One of those, Cerveza things. And I'm like, I'm not going to agree. And then I read today where the state of Virginia, and I'm sure you could pull this up, the state of Virginia is about to mandate.
Yep, I already read that at the beginning.
Everybody in the state.
Yeah, I read that at the beginning of the show. Stephanie, I'm rolling into my first hour. I want to do a quick channel plug. So we've been talking for about 15 minutes. You gave us a good insight on what's happening there, and it's really good to hear from you on this stuff because especially how they're now just doing this to colleges and stuff, it's really interesting how they're just implementing this in little bits and pieces. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, and they're even required that local school kids get the V thing in their whatever.
Yeah.
To go to school.
I know
they're
the V
trying
thing.
to pass the legislature to do this.
Yep. They're gonna be pushing hard.
I think more kids are gonna get homeschooled, honestly. I think that's what's gonna happen, which is better anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, Mike, yeah, I really appreciate everything you do, and I'm sure as things start coming along, I will let you know as soon as I get information here on the ground. And hopefully this season isn't too bad with hurricanes, but I have a feeling we're gonna get a big one sooner or later this year.
Okay. Stephanie, stay strong, and we'll talk soon, okay?
Thank you, Mike.
God
Good
bless.
night. Bye-bye.
That is Stephanie down in Orlando, Florida, off of I-75, giving us a download on what's happening in her neck of the woods there. Guys, let me do a quick channel plug here. Guys, let me call you guys, please. I got a lot of people trying to call into the show, guys. Let me call you guys, okay? Or you can message me here, typed message here on Skype. All right, let's go real quick. Article scan here. Guys, don't forget to set your reminders for next week. Mike of the Night, Words of the Wise, and Trends in the Housing Market this Wednesday. Don't forget to watch old videos of Mike in the Night. Just leave it playing right through. You can play the whole right here. Play all, watch all the Mike in the Nights, Trends in the Housing Market. Lots of discussion here. Don't forget to pick up something on Teespring if you guys feel like it and supporting the transmission. Don't forget to join the channel too. Go up here, click join. If you guys want to join the channel for $1 a month. Also, lots of cool stuff here to buy. And don't forget to, oh, there's no more porn. Don't forget to message me here on Facebook with show tips if you want. Go ahead and message me here on Facebook if you guys feel like you need to send me a show tip. Go ahead. Let me just go here real quick. That's my Facebook, guys. And don't forget to check out art by, oh, that's Dano's Instagram, and don't forget to message me on Instagram. I'll give you guys my Instagram. If you have any show tips, please add me on Instagram. Send me show tips, please, and we'll go from there. Mike in the Night, people of the night. It's time for Mike in the Night. Okay, so all right, Hollywood's in the Hollywood's in the house. We got Paul S. in the house. We got Lord Humongous in the house. We got SD921 in the house. We got Matthew in the house. Mike Banks. We got all kinds of people in the house. Anna Key in the house. She's saying Nanny State. They'll keep you warm and safe and cozy. Just jump through all the hoops. Yep. Papa Pissed in the house. Steven Sewell in the house. Bird 718 in the house. Everyone's in the house. Oh, I got this Windows protection crap coming up on my screen. Yeah, computer might be getting sick, guys. Computer might be catching a virus. Yeah.
You're not a nice person.
All right, who do we got coming up right now? Who do we got? Let's get Ralphie on the ground there. Let's get him to find out what he's been doing a lot of stuff on his channel. So if you guys haven't checked out Ralphie, he should be in the comments here. You could check his channel out. Ralphie, where are you in the comments? Why aren't you commenting in the comments, Ralphie? Check out Ralphie in the comments. Let's get him on the phone and find out what the heck is going on and get a quick plug from him. Cha-cha. All right, let's see what he's got for us here. Get Ralphie on the phone. Ralphie? Let's see if he picks up the phone. Maybe he went to grab lunch. Or maybe the Men in Black took him away.
Hey, mate.
Yo, what's up, Ralphie? How you doing, buddy?
Hey, good, mate. Good. Give me a quick call back. I forgot to turn my video on. I was just on a quick WikiLeak.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna call him back right now. He's on a WikiLeak. All right, there you are. Okay, what do you got for us today, buddy? What do you got? I know you got something for us.
Oh, Okay, lots on. I was literally just focusing on the show, and I took a 1 second wiki leak, and then here you are calling me. So here we go. I've got heaps of show notes today because it's a fast-paced show, as we know. Yeah. So going back to that Florida caller, so I feel really bad for her, but I feel like a lot of people are sort of acting based on fear.
Right.
And that's due to sort of what they're being fed in terms of their echo chambers and what news are being fed to them. There's a good video by Ben Swan called Fact Checking Smear Machine. Have you seen that?
No, tell us about it.
Okay, I'll give you a quick video link there. Well, I'll tell you about it, and I'll send the link later. But basically, it's the whole smear machine of information that's through Google, Wikipedia, everyone's being fed basically fear. And so that person that was attacking that Florida caller, I feel like that's kind of his mindset at the moment. You should definitely check out a Netflix documentary it's got Raphael Rowe in it. It's called Inside the World's Toughest Prisons. Have you got Netflix at all?
Yeah, I do. I got Netflix. And I used to watch those prison shows. They were okay. But, I mean, it gets kind of old after a while, you know?
The reason why I mentioned it is people should watch that and just focus on the psychology of prisoners, because at the moment our planet is quickly becoming a prison, an open-air prison. And the psychology of those prisoners, it goes on with things like, you're dobbing on your neighbors, you're doing this. So what happened with that girl in Florida, that's what's happening with that person's mindset. He's not necessarily a bad person, but he's acting on fear and what he's been fed in his newsreel, if that makes sense. So that's where you should definitely check out a video by Ben Swan and Mickey Willis. It's called Fact Checking Smear Machine, the Google Wikipedia Fact Checking Smear Machine, because there are a lot of people out there that are just basically being fed the official narrative only. I actually, thanks to you told me last time I called into the show, you told me to get more active and actually do some real footage out there, not just like filming in my room. So I actually did a quick video yesterday when I'm driving around Auckland, and I'm showing you how empty Auckland is at the moment. And I go and talk about, I do an open rant about old versus new money, because I think I've figured out what's happening, what the end game is at the moment. I think there's a power struggle between old versus new money. So basically old money is the monarchy, who are quickly losing ground to things like corporations, and in this case
let me just say something. Apple's GDP is bigger than New Zealand and Australia's put together.
See, that's true. But see, you've got corporations in place, so that's where capitalism comes in. But you also have things like new money. So you've got big influence from people like the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, and who are quickly buying up property around the world so that they can gain influence, power. They're buying people out in terms of key positions. So I think that's what's happening. I figured it out, and I go into detail about this in my video log on my channel. But I think I've figured out what's happening. So what's happening is there's a lot of elites, so it could be the CCP or someone else. They're stacking up their cash, or they've got heaps of cash, but they're waiting to crash the economy so that they can, buy things pennies on the dollar. And I think that's what's happening. What do you reckon?
I'm thinking that's been in play. I think since like the mid-90s, they've been trying to run something like this for the longest time, because we did see a reset during the battle. Remember, I don't know if you remember the Battle of Waterloo there, where Napoleon lost the war, and then they went ahead and started fudging the numbers. I don't know if you remember that, and then that basically put England in debt for the next billion years. And they've done it since they did it in the first the crash, the Black Thursday there. Was it Black Friday or Black Thursday down in the late 20s, and then they redid it in the 80s, 81, 82, but it was more of the stocks. It was more buying into the stocks, more buying into the commodities markets. It was different. Now it's in the damn real estate, our damn homes.
Yeah.
Because we open up our countries to free trade. And look what's free trade has done. Back in the days, people would launder money. They would open a store in the mall that no one visits, but they'll still pay the infrastructure. They'll pay for the fees. They'll pay this. They'll pay the mall administration. They'll pay their rent. They'll pay their taxes, and they'll wash a bit of money. Now, they're just shadow flipping houses back and forth.
Exactly. So there we've focused on the problem. I'm a real solutionist kind of thinker. So that's the problem, right? So I'm all about problem solution. So I was thinking about this all yesterday and since I last called in. Solutions. What do you reckon? So think about previous battles in history. There are two strategies that I'm thinking that people can sort of gain ground back. So there's the Robin Hood strategy, where all the pirates did this as well, where you're basically taunting your enemy in little pockets of resistance, but it's ongoing, it's persistent, so you're gaining ground here and there, and you're recruiting as you grow the resistance. So that's the Robin Hood / pirate strategy. And the reason why I mentioned that is your first caller from Craig from New Zealand, he called in earlier.
Yeah.
He mentioned that a lot of Kiwis, especially in the first lockdown, they were flaunting the lockdown rules. Now that we're in the second wave of the lockdown, what I've noticed, and again, I went out with my camera yesterday and I actually filmed Auckland streets on a Friday night. I've noticed there were a lot of cars on the road, but there's obviously no pedestrians because, people have fear of being fined on the spot, things like that. But see, the beauty about driving around in your car is you can get away really quickly if there's danger that's coming in, right?
Right.
So I noticed there was a lot of car traffic, and I was like surprised because we're in lockdown. I noticed a lot of car traffic, but obviously not many foot traffic. So that's one solution strategy, is you're almost not signing up to the plan, but you're doing it very strategically, on the low key, that sort of thing. Think of Nazi Germany when people used to hide the Jewish inside walls and things. So, you're doing things at the moment, because what's happened is we've had this big change in our society now, and there's a military term called tactical retreat. So everyone has gone, whoa, what's happened, right? And so we've gone 2 steps back. We're in tactical retreat. Now we're in a position to go, okay, this is what's happened. Some people are questioning the narrative. Some people are following the narrative. But there's a good enough pocket to go, okay, now we're going to make our move on the chessboard. And I think that's really important for people to gather and make their move to kind of sort of counter back on that.
Right. I mentioned this last week. I don't know. There wasn't a lot of Mike in the Night, but it was on Trends in the Housing Market. We need to take a step back and gather our forces and recommunicate another strategy. We talked about this. We need to cease fire, step back, look at what our options are, and go forward again, right? But I have 3 words for you, my friend.
Yes.
Wuhan pool party. Right there. That's going to throw everything under the bus that they told us, and that's going to put everything under the bus that they expect us to believe.
Well, liberties are not essential, but pool parties are, right?
There was, 7,000 people in that pool? No, it was 3,000 people in that pool, and there was 70,000 people out on the street.
On that same note, Auckland actually had their first lockdown protest yesterday, which
Really?
A girl, it's on my channel as well. There's a girl called Sarah Smith who filmed it, and then what I did is I took the video and kind of zhushed it up with graphics and things like that, because I think protests need to be sexy, you know what I mean? Not just like a camera footage and things like that. You need to kind of make it like a newsroom and make it sexy, so that it's talkative, talkable, tweetable, that kind of thing. So I took her footage, and then what I did, and get this, I added subtitles to the full 8-minute speech by Will Ryan. He's a really good activist in New Zealand. Check him out. And I took his speech, and I actually took time to do subtitles. The reason why I did this is I noticed that our mainstream media, the New Zealand Herald, actually picked up on the same story. But what they did is they took two sentences from his speech, and then they used it so that they can sort of portray it for their own political agenda. So these are the 2 sentences they took from his 8-minute speech. The NZ Herald, which is a mainstream newspaper in New Zealand, said, there was one talker and he said, "We are not crazy people, ... but people can believe what they want, and that's it," ignoring the full context of his speech.
Well, they do that all the time.
But other parts of his speech, the meat and bones of his speech, was actually very, very good. He talks about liberties. He talks about things like, going back to the Wuhan pool party. A week before, there was a protest in Auckland where 2,000 plus protesters turned up at the Aotea Square to protest Black Lives Matter.
Right. We covered that here on the show.
In that protest, they were like, "Yeah, you're all right. There's no cases of COVID. You're fine." But then, as soon as the political thing, thing went another way. So in this case, people were protesting specifically about being locked down and how unlawful that was. Then they're like, "Oh, actually, no, you can't gather in groups of more than 10."
Right.
So it's like it's a convenient politicized tool where they can go, "You can do this, you can do that."
But you just can't order KFC.
Well, there is actually, and I sent it to you on your chat on your Skype. There's a video at the moment where there's between a policeman and a woman. The police says, "Under the COVID-19 health order, you are breaching the order by gathering in a public place," which the woman simply replied with, "So we have no democratic rights." And the policeman said, "You have no democratic rights in terms of that."
Wow.
Have you seen that video?
So that COVID thing is a blanket. So they're blanking it in a way to mask, to trump people's rights, right? And we know that. We've known that for months here on the channel. But now they're getting to a point where have they forced you, Ralphie, to download an application for your phone or something yet?
My employer has forced me so that I can work from home. I've had that. But going back to my train of thought, right? So I don't want to create a movement where we're against the police, because they are part of our communities. I actually know a few policemen and other people that work for the government. One guy's I used to be in a band with her. She was our singer, and now she's, in the police. I play at local markets, and the camera woman.
No, I understand. I'm not against. 97% of the police out there are really good people.
Absolutely.
They always check on me at my store. They come on me, "Mike, are you okay? You doing okay?" They always check on me. They have coffee with me at my shop, and then they go on their way, and
Exactly. But what I want to do is, rather than a sort of a spread fire, if we're going to fight back, just remember that they are part of our communities. It's not them that we want to target. You kind of want a laser target to who you actually need to be looking for, because it's the people that are in positions of power. So they put key people in positions of the police, that sort of thing. Those key positions are the ones you need to look out for, not the general, police community.
Police are boots on the ground. They're on the ground with us, right?
Exactly.
And you're talking about 7 layers up. You're talking about 8 layers up.
Yeah, I mean, look, I actually, my YouTube channel was originally about making music production, gaming. I wanted it to be a bit more fun. But now with this whole COVID lockdown thing, my brain is going 100 miles an hour, because all this stuff is happening. And I'm thinking, actually, the videos I need to be making right now are what's happening now. And so actually you're a big part of that, because you told me at our last chat to actually get out there and film. And so that's what I've done. So you're a big part of this movement, Mike, and I thank you for what you're doing.
Well, it's about talking. And what do we do here? Talk. We're just talking. We're talking, and this is how things get solved. This is how things get enacted. This is how things get put into place. This is how things get spread, is by having a conversation and getting, a one-on-one, getting 193 people watching us right now live. And then we got 766 people watching us in Eastern Europe on another streaming platform. So, that's how it works.
Do you know why talking is beautiful there, Mike? It's because back in the day when you had those old warfares, if you had a town and a neighboring town and there was an upcoming attack, they would go up on the hills and they would put smoke, what do they call it?
Signals.
smoke signals to the neighboring towns. That's what we need to be doing in the Commonwealth. So it's really important to be talking in platforms like this around the Commonwealth, because there is the same strategy that's happening now, and we need to be sending those smoke signals. What do you reckon?
Oh, buddy, you know how many people in the States messaged me that they never knew that there was a BLM protest in New Zealand until they saw my show? Or in Australia?
Last week.
Like, what? In Australia? In New Zealand? I'm like, what? I only found that out on your channel, Mike.
There is and I know this strategy. This is part of the strategy, and this is on my blog at ralphie.co.nz. I actually told you very quickly that I saw some things in 2013 when I was a waiter for politicians, Bill and Hillary Clinton Foundation.
Yeah.
Remember that? Also Hollywood parties, I got to do them. Bankers. So much to talk about on the show, but I'll keep it brief and streamlined for now. Right? But here's what I think is what was I getting at? Here's what I think was happening. There was a talk that I went to, a charity I was doing a waiter for, right? And I was one of the 3 waiters that got to stay in, pour people water, but this was otherwise a closed talk, okay? It was the chicken charity, October 2013. But the reason why I bring this one in particular, there was a couple of bankers, they were raising funds, £400,000 for the cause of changing young lives through theatre, right? But what they do is they reenact these stories, and what was happening on stage is all these kids, various ages, singing and dancing, and mainly, talking, singing and dancing in front of banker-type individuals. But it etched on my mind because what happened on stage is they had this sort of monologue which said, one of the actors said, to prepare a nation for war, you must first instill hatred, anger, fear, racism, and divide. Right? Mm-hmm. So movements like Black Lives Matter, it's all about divide and conquer, the oldest strategy in the military book.
Well, yeah. If you read The Art of War, just sit up on the mountain and watch them fight over each other. You don't have to do a damn thing. There was a episode of Twilight Zone where basically a bunch of aliens were watching us from space, and then they said, "How do we invade them?" Well, let's let them destabilize themselves. And they started doing things in the show. The aliens were doing things on the ground, but they were blaming each other as neighbors. And then before you know it, the whole town's fighting against each other, and the aliens are looking back and laughing at it. That there was nothing to do because they were doing it to themselves.
Exactly. So going back to solutions, guys, we've taken 2 steps back as part of the tactical retreat.
Regroup.
Now it's time to make our moves. This is what I recommend. So 1, obviously, as part of the Commonwealth ring, we need to be talking in platforms like this so that we can tell our neighboring villages, smoke signals, right? Mm-hmm. That's one solution. And it's also a recruitment process because there is a war on for people's minds. So there's basically 2 stories being told, and you're either going left or right. But think of Nazi Germany. Which side of history do you want to be part of?
Right.
Okay, so there's that. And there's another solution is you need to prepare because there is a storm coming. So hunker down and take care of the basics. I'm talking about food. So what I'm doing at home, I'm working on a garden, edible food, things like that, because you don't want to be like that video that you showed early on in the show today where people are fighting over rice cookers. You don't want to be part of that mob.
Yeah. That was in North Calgary, Alberta.
And yep. And people back, in the previous world wars, maintaining a garden, that's what they did. And it's not that hard, guys. If you're new to gardening, I'm actually new to gardening myself. If you're new to gardening, it's not that hard. What you do is you just get a couple of seeds if you need to. You get what's called peat pellets. You put the seeds in there. Watch all sorts of tutorials on YouTube and things like that about gardening. Good for that. Away you go. It's not hard, people. Grow gardens, please, because you need to hunker down because there's a storm coming.
Yeah.
That's all.
Okay, Ralphie. I'm gonna let you go, buddy. It's been a pleasure talking to you. Keep making videos. Put a link in your in the comments here so we could get to your YouTube channel.
Quick plug if I can. So as you can see behind me, I am a musician, so I'm on Spotify, Ralphie Souvenirs, or check out ralphie.co.nz. But Mike, before I go, I actually became a thing on your YouTube.
You joined the channel. That's right. You joined the channel. Thank you so much. And that money
we got to feed the energy. We got to
feed the energy.
We got to feed the energy. So you're doing a great job, mate.
Don't forget to leave your link in the comments there, okay?
Will do.
God bless you.
God bless everyone.
Ciao, ciao. All right, guys, that is Ralphie on the show, giving us an insight on what is happening in his neck of the woods. And yeah, he's right. It's about regrouping. Let's regroup and talk. This is what we're doing here. We're talking. It's one of the most basic forms of communication. Actually, hand signals were the most basic forms of communication. You know what I'm saying? But now, all right, what time we got? Oh, we got lots of time till the next break. Okay, so let's get somebody else on the show here. Who can we get on the show? So that is, okay, who can we get on the show? Who is available out there? Come on, wake up. Wake up. Who's out there, guys? Who wants to come on the show? Oh, somebody sent me a Twitter here. Let me just open this up for you guys. Oh, it looks like it is. This is from 3RG in the comments. What is this? It looks like it's some sort of protest. Let me open this up to article scan here. Looks like some sort of protest. Oh, this is in the States. Yeah. There's some sort of a movement here. No, it's not in the States. There's a lot of Chinese signs here. I don't even know where this is. 3RG, if you want to tell me where this is, buddy. And this is happening right now, apparently. So if you guys want to kind of weigh in on where that's happening. All right, what's going on? Lots of unrest. I mean, we're getting unrest everywhere. And it's about finding soluciones. Oh, I got a thing here from Globetrotter Mike. Let's see what this is. Globetrotter Mike just sent us something. What is this? I can't even read this. Protocol real-time PCR assess detection of SARS-CoV-2 in, I don't even know, Paris. This is from Paris, France. Oh, this is something to do with, here we go. Adjustments may be required for other kits. Oh, this is kits. These are kits in testing for this stuff. Amplification cycles, sensitivity. So this is, what is this? Oh, this is the WHO PCR test. Let's see what this says here. Bombshell, WHO test PCR primer sequence is found in all human DNA. So this thing they're testing, people are testing positive for is in every human. So let's read this here real quick. This was important enough that I wanted to get it out immediately. My research from the NCBI database for nucleotide sequences has led to the stunning discovery. One of the WHO primer sequences PCR test for SARS-CoV-2 is found in all human DNA. Sequence CT, is an 18-character primer sequence. Okay, so we need to get... Okay, so this is not looking good. If that's true, we are in a heap of trouble. Where is... That is, we are in pretty much in a heap of trouble. If that's true, we're in trouble. Shot clips, $2. Hair looks sharp, buddy. Grow out the goatee next. Yeah, man. All right. Thank you for the $2 shot clips. I'm going to use that money. I'm going to save my money for gas. Go down to downtown Detroit. See if we can get anybody to pick up their phones here tonight. Okay, who do we got tonight that's available? Okay, guys. Who do we got tonight that's available? It looks like Mitch is on. Who's on? Who's on? Who's on? Who is this? Ah, it's Globetrotter Mike. Yo, Mike.
Hey, Mr. Mike, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing phenomenal, buddy. Okay, so that genome sequence thingy you sent me from what they're testing for COVID looks like it's an all human DNA.
Yeah, so what I found that in a video, and the lady was talking about it and said this is basically a strand of our DNA that everybody has in our bodies, and that's what they're testing for. So they're assembling basically a DNA database in China, from my understanding of the matter.
Okay, guys. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this again. So if you're just tuning in right now, let's go back here. Let's go back to this discussion piece here. So so Mike, if you're right, this is actually a pretty big deal.
Well, I found it. I tipped over it. It's not my research. I just
No,
delivered the
I
message.
know, but this
basically.
is like I don't know how many people know this because I didn't know this. So let's open this back up again. Let's put this on our full screen here again. So let's see if we could make sense of this. So here it is, guys. Article scan right here. So okay, so Mike sent us this. Now what they're testing for, a lot of times when people are going out and doing tests, they put the swab in, it gets sent to a laboratory, they program the computer to find a certain algorithm or something in the code, and if you program the computer to find a specific something or some sort of a genome code, it will find it for you regardless of what you're looking for. So what's happening here is the characters that they're testing for, the sequence right here, according to this 18 character primary sequence,
Right.
is found in every human being.
That's my understanding of this document. Yes.
Interesting.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to make of that myself. I just thought that I shoot it out there, and people can dig into that themselves to make up their own minds.
This is definitely a big discussion piece here because, I mean, this is a game changer. If somebody actually went out and did all this research and figured this out, I mean, they're going to have to jump through a lot of hoops to get that information too, right?
Yeah, that's. I mean, look at the at the URLs where this stuff is being hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And you really have to be a doctor to understand this kind of documentation. But as it says before, it's been found in all human DNA. So yeah, if they set up a database for our DNA, pretty interesting why they are going to do that, and why do they need it?
We got what was that? Somebody said something in the ground. Yeah. Hollywood saying that swab is how the manipulation begins, with the swab.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got someone else in the comments saying it's a tricky virus. What did
yeah, go ahead.
I'm just reading some of the comments here. Paul S. is saying it could all be rigged. What do you think, Mike? Is this rigged or is it or like, okay? We understand there's obviously a huge part of it that's being rigged, but what do you think? What's happening in your neck of the woods?
Well, I mean, work-wise, we are on the same page. Like Stephanie, we go to our work, being tested, and thermal. No, what's it called? Taking the temperature and all this kind of stuff.
Wow, they take your temperature at work.
Yes, but it's done by a medic. And
so it's not some weird guy behind a counter in a hotel.
No.
Oh.
If you you go to work, to your workplace, it's in a remote area, it's camps. So yeah, they take the temperature, and you have to wear a mask in camp. out in the field as well. So, and you have to physically distance and all this kind of stuff.
In the field.
Yeah.
Whoa. Do you find problems breathing when you're wearing that mask, or you just get used to it like wearing glasses?
Yeah, in the beginning it was tough, but I ordered one of those hacker masks from Amazon that was in V for Vendetta in that movie, so I wear that
Okay. Okay. As long as
because they say
because
face coverage.
I just believe that it could cause more problems, long-term problems if if you wear that for too long.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there. Definitely, it's not good for you, and a lot of doctors and studies saying the same thing. But you have to go with the flow to get your stuff organized and get your groceries and whatever else. So you play along if you like it or not.
And you're in northern Alberta, right?
I'm in Edmonton.
Northern Alberta, Edmonton. Yes. Okay. Did you see that that video I put up today about those people basically ripping that store apart for a free rice cooker?
Yeah, I must be pretty desperate.
Wow, that was intense, man. When I saw that, I was like, holy. All they need to do is pull something like that, and then you get the PM, the premier, to step up and say, that's it. We're going to put, everyone's going to need an app to go out. It's going to be just like Australia. Watch out.
Yeah, and that's the next thing. I would say, if I got to say for one day on this planet, toss all the cell phones in the garbage. Just ditch them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's over.
It's over,
I mean,
yeah. Put your cell phones in the trash. The media can't get to you. Nobody can get to you.
I mean, it's an important piece of technology that people use on a daily basis. I got that. But at the end of the day, 20 years ago, we were just fine.
We were just fine. Yeah, we definitely were, yeah.
So,
oh yeah.
There's another thing I wanna give you a quick showdown. If you open the last Skype message that I sent you there with the deagle, I don't know if it's I'm a little bit delayed here. I don't know if you can see that.
A guide to military equipment?
Yeah, exactly. That's the one. So on my screen, I see a couple airplanes. Looks like a military newspaper or whatever else.
Yeah, I see it here. I see it here.
If you scroll down on the right-hand side, there's a link says other info, and underneath is countries.
So we want me to click on countries?
Yes, please.
Okay, clicking on countries.
Okay. Now you see all the different flags: United States, China, Japan, Germany, France, etc.
Yeah.
So now you see, click on, but pick a country, and let's say United States of America, for example.
Okay. Done.
Okay, and here we go. So now we see the year. The currency is US dollar. The year is 2017. And all the little details, what they spent the money on and stuff like that. So if we go on population, that's the third column from the top.
Yeah.
327 million people.
Right.
Due to the quote of 2017. Now you go down to the forecast and look the people up, how many people's left.
So you want me to go to where from now?
Forecast population. It's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's the 11th column down in the forecast.
Oh.
You see that? Population.
Forecast 2025. Oh, wow. It's down 100 million.
Yes, and you click to every land, whatever you please in that country. If you go one side back, go to Canada, for example.
What? Okay. So let's go to Canada. Where's Canada? Japan, Mexico, Poland. Oh, there's Canada. Okay.
It's number 10, yeah.
Okay, watch this, guys. So right now, the population in Canada is 36 million. So let me zoom this in. This is a very important piece of information right here, guys. So there it is. Canada, population, 36 million, right? You scroll down.
Yeah.
Forecast for 2025, 26 million. So 10 million people are going to disappear from Canada, according to this thing.
Well, that's the question. Where is this information coming from, and how reliable is it to begin with? But it's definitely scary stuff.
Interesting. Okay, let's look at India. India's got a big population.
Okay, go on.
Okay, here we go. India population 1.3 billion, and it's gonna be up one. It's gonna stay at 1.3 billion apparently, according to this, by 2025.
Yeah, so I was playing around with it a little bit, and I saw ups, down, and break even kind of scenarios, if you want to call it like that.
But
So
Canada,
there you go.
I know Canada is bringing in a lot of people, not from Europe, like from China, India, Pakistan, in huge numbers into Canada, because our population is fizzling. Nobody could afford to buy a house. I could see Canada going from 36 million by 2025 being at 26 million, and that's 3 inhabitants per square kilometer. I could see that easily happening in Canada.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, someone's asking me to put the link up. Okay, guys, here it is. Here's the link. I'm going to give you guys the link right here. And you guys could take a look at that there on your spare time, or open a second window. There it is, guys, the link if you guys want to check this out. All right, Mike, thank you so much for the call, buddy.
Yeah, no big deal, man.
Yeah,
All the time.
keep feeding us this information, eh?
Yeah, it's hard to get on every now and then, and I miss the opportunity or working shifts or whatever else. But yeah, no, definitely I'm being on the ball there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, Mike, God bless you. Thank you so much, brother, and stay warm out there this winter in northern Alberta.
Sure thing, you too.
All right, bye.
Bye.
That is our man, Mike. He's in the comments here, Globetrotter Mike. He's always watching the show. He's always got my back, and we're always watching what's going on here. So that's some really important piece of information here. So I sent you guys the link. Now let's gonna look at this right now. Let's gonna play around with this link a little bit here. So this is a really important link, guys. So okay, let's look at the United States of America. Okay, population 326. I think it's sitting at 350 right now. This is from 2017, 327, and they're forecasting by 2025 it's going to be down by 100 million people. Wow. What are these people? This is all military stuff, too. And you know how military is when it comes to intelligence. They're always on top of intelligence. Their intelligence is always a few years ahead of everybody else's, right? I know other European countries, and maybe, you know. Okay, let's look at, I know Italy's birth rate is higher than its death rate is higher than its birth rate. So let's look at Italy. I know Italy's death rate's higher. Yeah, here you go. Population 62 million. Okay. And then by 2025, it's going to be down 44 million people in Italy. So I know the death rate's higher than the birth rate in Italy. I know that. But that's a lot of people down. I can see 62 million and then going down to 50 million by 2025. I don't see, 44 million down. That's going to leave like 25 million people in Italy. Wow. Okay. And what else we got here? Iran. Let's look at Nigeria. Wow. Population 191 million in Nigeria. And by 2025, they're going to be down 187 million people.
You're not a nice person.
That's, wow. That's going to leave 10 million people in that country. Wow. Okay. Fair enough. Well, I want to thank Mike for sending us this, Mike in northern Alberta, Canada, giving us this information.
I love my life. I have a wonderful family.
Oh, somebody wants me to try New Zealand in the comments. Okay, I'll do that for you guys. Let's see if they got New Zealand here. I think they have the entire Commonwealth here. Let's check New Zealand. New Zealand, Australia. Let's look at Australia. It's going to be down 15 million from 23 million people. That's what they're saying here. Australia is its population will be down. It's going to be down 15 million people. And let's check and see if we have Where's New Zealand? Did I see New Zealand, Italy, China, Germany? Oh, there's pages here. There's pages, guys. Pages. Holy crap. Okay, let's check. We got to check Portugal. Portugal's going to be down 8.1 million people. I'm moving to Portugal because there's 11 million people there now. If it goes to 8.1 million people, it's going to be pretty empty. So I might be moving to Portugal, people, if there's only 2 million people in the whole country. I'm not seeing you, New Zealand here. Philippines, Ireland, Qatar, Kuwait. Slovakia, Lebanon, Jordan. Bolivia. Trinidad and Tobago. Nicaragua. So a lot of these countries are just going down. With populations are going down. Let's look at Somalia. They got 11 million people. Wow, they're going to be 9.9 million down. So that's like 2 million people living in Somalia. Wow. Wow, that's some serious information. Sorry, guys, I'm not finding New Zealand on here. I'm sorry. We got El Salvador. Okay, you got Yemen here with 28 million. It's going to be down 27 million people, according to this thing. So there's going to be 1 million people living in Yemen, according to this thing, this military intelligence here. Okay, North Korea, I got to check. North Korea, 25 million people in 2017, no information. No information. I think North Korea is not part of this world agenda thing, or they're trying not to be part of this world agenda. Wow. Wow. Okay, we could be on this all night. Let's look at China. Wow. Okay, this is the first country we are looking at right now where the population is 1.4 billion, and according to U.S. intelligence, the population is going to be down 1.4 billion by 2025. This is the first country we're looking at where the population is going to be 0. So here it is. From this military intelligence website, there is 1.4 billion people in China, and the population in 2025 is going to be down 1.4 billion. That is something definitely to keep an eye on, guys. Well, thank Mike for that. Another good caller. Wow. All right. Let's get, you know what? Let's see if Supreme Cannon picks up the phone. His thing is on. Let's see if he picks up the phone.
What up, my guy?
Hey, Supreme, are you watching the show?
I am watching the show.
Oh, I haven't seen you in the comments. Sorry. How you doing?
Oh, so far so good. Yeah,
what do you think of that agenda population map we were looking at?
Oh, this Deagle thing.
That's weird, dude.
Yeah, I've just been Googling a couple of other commentaries on it.
Interesting.
Yeah, sorry, just turn off my value here. Yeah. I have seen this before. They made this forecast in 2014. They were expecting it sounds like from this one commentary, cascading financial failures, the kind of thing that we've been talking about a lot. Obviously, I could see it leading to massive. You freeze up the whole supply chain if you collapse the credit system. So there's no question there would be a lot of unrest. The world is 12 meals away or 9 meals away from chaos, right? If people don't eat every day, kind of thing.
Okay, some people are saying I'm reading it wrong, that the population will remain the same.
Well, those numbers look like there's a huge reduction of population, primarily in North America.
Do not
and
subtract
Europe.
the projected column in the new estimate, not the estimate to be subtracted. Okay.
Okay, sure. Either way, the population changes a lot, like noticeably. So yes. It looks like where the American population is concerned, as this one commentary said, a lot of it is outflows. It's this this migration blizzard that we've had for the last decade or two suddenly slamming into reverse and people leaving. Right.
Supreme,
corporation. Go ahead.
The migration out in that where are the Americans? I mean, where are the expats? Where are the Americans going? I know a few Americans that moved to Portugal. They sent me a message on YouTube. They have their own channel, and they're talking about, you know, they've been living in Portugal now for 2 years and they're an expat and blah blah blah. And but where I mean, it's really tough to live in Mexico. I mean, there's a lot of expat. I mean, where do Canadians have a tough time getting anywhere too?
Oh yeah, especially now. Definitely.
And then there's a rumor, the rumor going around right now, Supreme. Now, listen to this, that if you have a student loan, you can't leave the country if you don't pay it off.
Well, you're definitely hostage if you have a student loan. They're not dischargeable by bankruptcy. Yeah, the kids are slaves. That's the idea. It's just lock them into it, and then basically they become a form of collateral. Yeah, I don't know why anybody, unless you're going into STEM or something like that, I can't imagine anybody going to college these days. And we've been saying that for quite a while. Like, why?
Trade school is fantastic. Electrician, a plumber, HVAC, all kinds of stuff you could learn.
Absolutely. I mean, those kinds of skills, yeah, you can use those. They're applicable anywhere in the world, right? So they're incredibly useful. Same with technology and medical field and things like that. But liberal arts, you know, like a lot of people go to college just, you know, like I've said many times, it's just 4 years of a high school environment away from parental supervision. Right. Sad to say. It's like, well, this is my last chance, my last hurrah before I have to go out into the world and make $15 an hour or work in the gig economy and be poor. So what the hell? And my parents are telling me I need to go anyway. Right. So
a lot of parents were kind of forced by the big. A lot of parents were pushed hard by the administrations to get their kids into college too. You know.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a lot of credentialism. Like if you don't have a certain degree. It's like a lot of jobs now anyway, not necessarily most or a majority, but a lot of jobs, they won't take you if you don't have at least a grade 12.
Well, back in the 19th century, the early turn of the 20th century, universities were put into, women went to university back in those days to find a suitable husband. That's what the whole reason they went to university for back in the day.
Yeah, they went to get their MRS degree. That's right. Yeah. I think some of that still happens, and I think it happens a lot in the corporate world. You see a lot of articles about ladies that have been in the corporate world for, 10, 15 years, and they're starting to lament because they thought they were going to find Mr. Wonderful Hair, and it might work on HBO, but it doesn't work in real life all the time.
Things are changing fast, man.
They are changing fast, but in a lot of ways, Mike, they're going to revert to things that are more sensible. They're going to have to. There's just we're living under this shroud, this smoke and mirrors shroud of this funny money thing, like the Fremont Street experience. It's just weaving these ridiculous ideas, and people are attached to them, and it all had to end. We knew it was going to end, right? That's all really what we've been talking about for years.
Okay. Forced vaccinations in some states, and the Australian government this week implementing on forced vaccinations and now stepping back. Is this the beginning now where they implemented it in discussion, now reiterating it? They're going to reiterate it, put it in a commercial, and then tell people 6 months down the road, we told you about this.
I think a lot of these things are compliance tests. If you try to enforce vaccinations in some American states, there's going to be massive court challenges. Like it isn't going to happen. You can't force people to take a needle, especially when the burden of proof is on them that the thing is not harmful and it's actually going to do what they say it's going to do. And the reason for it, like a lot of people now are just flat out not buying into this COVID nonsense. They want to go back to work. They want to go back to their lives. Time will tell if that's a good idea or not. Right. I don't think COVID is nothing, but it seems to me that most of us have had it already. It's just time to go outside and get back to life.
Yeah, because a lot of people died from a lot more. Like I had a guest on like 3 weeks ago on 3 Mike and the Nights ago or 4 Mike and the Nights ago who was locked up in a New Zealand hotel because she flew in from London, England to New Zealand, and she couldn't leave the hotel for 15 days. And
Yeah.
and she's telling me that there's nothing going on, and the airports in London were open, and everything was just, there was no temperature checks, nothing. She arrives to New Zealand, it's in this like weird draconian measures in place, you know? And someone comes into her room and checks her temperature 3 times a day. What is that?
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I think a lot of it is at the bureaucratic level. I mean, people are getting an authority and a power over people's lives that they didn't have before, and they're reluctant to give it up. You know, they see this as their moment in the sun, as their moment on stage, right? To be the hero. I mean, you can't ascribe everything to massive conspiracies. There's so much corruption and just people being people. A little bit of authority goes to their head, and
like that guy strangling that girl in Melbourne, Australia on the street? That security guard strangling that girl that wasn't wearing a mask?
Oh my goodness. Well, this is the thing too. It gets people upset, right? And it gets them like I said, it's not just the authority of the police, say, or health officials or something like that. It's also those stereotypical Karens that are out there, right? Yeah. And obviously there's a male version as well, Karens and Darrens kind of a thing. The idea is, yeah, you know, comrade, you're not doing your duty for the great cause. You're spreading disease, and you're going to kill my grandparents or something like that. You know what I mean? It's just so many people are using this as an opportunity really for their own agendas. And, you know, that in their mind, it's really another form of virtue signaling.
What do you think of this whole
widespread.
Victoria shut down? The state of this, the province of Victoria is completely shut down, and the biggest city in Victoria is Melbourne, with the province with roughly 3 million people. We've been following it on the show for a couple of weeks now. We had a few callers in from that specific area giving us a download where they can go within 5 miles out of their own radius. They can do a lot of things. What's going on? Like, I mean, you got this Wuhan pool party last week. What the heck is going on?
Well, again, this is some people's moment in the sun, right? This is their moment to step in and say, "I'm going to be decisive, and I'm going to do this thing, and it's for your own good." You know, big sister. Yeah, Hefe, the aggressive conformist. Exactly. Couldn't think of a better way of expressing it. Yes. Yeah. Where Victoria is concerned, it's probably an overreaction. I think this is all going to be shown to be an overreaction. But again, it's just goes back to the same thing. Some people, this is their moment in the sun. This is their opportunity to be front and center and in front of the news cameras, and we're doing this for your own good to save you all. And these are people that, for the most part, you know, they don't have to go out and hustle every day. Their money comes from you and me. Right. Which of course is also something that gets tapped out eventually.
Now, a month or 2 months ago, I want to revisit something we discussed on the show about 2 months ago about the war in the elites and war between the higher. Then we had Ralphie on the show saying there's old money, new money kind of movements going around, and corporations having bigger GDPs than countries now. Apple just surpassed a bigger GDP level than Canada and I think Australia put together. So...
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look at Apple. Good Lord.
Yeah.
That's crazy. And Tesla, you know.
So is there a power struggle between the elites, or tell us what? Let's revisit that now. It's been about a month now.
Yes. In the political realm, I absolutely believe it. The financial realm, yes. Old money. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be the Rothschilds and the Warburgs. Okay. Although
are the Rothschilds losing the war on money?
Well, the more visible they become, I don't really consider them elites. I just call them basically shit weasels. You know what I mean? They just want to stay in the background and play their games, you know. But you know, and sorry for the language. I don't know if that'll get you flagged or not.
No,
but,
it's fine. It's fine.
You know, they're not likable people, obviously, but yes,
you're not a
that's
nice
part
person.
Of it. They want to preserve their little Cosa Nostra, needless to say, and continue to expand. I mean, for people like that, and really for people like Tim Cook at Apple and Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, guys like that. You know, it stopped being about money a long time ago. Really, I mean, that kind of power, that kind of influence. There's no question about it. It's about power. It's about power much more than money now. Past a certain level, I think that's all you're really concerned about. And they have influence, outsized influence, because they can go directly to the movers and shakers in the political realm and make their lives very comfortable for moving things more in their direction. Think about a guy like George Soros. Yes, he's a billionaire, but so what? You know, like, what does the United States government spend in a day?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like
just
like
feed,
it's
okay.
just, it's
no.
just,
What
just
does
a-
the U.S.
it's
military
nothing.
spend? What does the U.S. military spend in a day to feed the soldiers breakfast?
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot more than George Soros will ever have. The reason a guy like that's able to operate is because he has compromised officials that will look the other way, like a WWE referee. Look at these Democrat cities that are burning down, all around the United States. Like, what the hell's going on there? They have police, the National Guard. Every state in America has a National Guard. They're all activated. All they have to do is pick up the phone and say, "Yeah, we need you here," and they keep not doing it.
You're not a
Right?
nice
And why
person.
is that? Because they want maximum chaos because it's an election year. Tet Offensive 2.0.
Well, we got Oregon. Police in Oregon now are not. Let's open some news. Let's talk some news here. Police in
Sure.
Oregon are not issuing a a riot when there is one. And let me see
Yeah.
if- like, they're not issuing a riot when there is a riot. So what do they need for it to be riot effect? Okay, hold on. Let's start with this here real quick. Let's get some that I have open that I wanted to get to. Okay, so we got. Oops. I just got to get rid of this here real quick. Okay, let me go here to article scan. Fines up to $2,000 possible for hosts of large events violating public health orders in BC. This is from today. Why are they doing this? I understand. Yeah. But $2,000? So you can't order KFC because KFC is going to rat you out.
That's right. Yeah, no kidding. I'm sure they haven't thought that through. The big thing is if this virus, if you're going to treat this virus as if it is the the bubonic plague, like this absolutely terrible thing, then think of the authority that gives you.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the power that it gives you. It's there waiting to be abused, right? And it's finds hosts of large events violating public health orders in BC. Yeah, if you want to contain this thing, or if you do actually believe the official numbers, and yes, it is a serious thing that could take off like a brush fire, then you want to disincentivize this kind of thing. The reality is, if there were large events that weren't outdoors, you're going to have a hell of a hard time unless the neighbors are calling it in.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in a case like that, no, there's going to be plenty of things where people go get together and do whatever.
Okay,
And all you really have to do.
Hold on, I'm trying to run a video here with no audio real quick here. So this is something about the Good Boys here, or let me read the article here. Watch Antifa clash with Proud Boys in Portland as police refuse to declare a riot. So let's take a look at the video footage that we got here and see if this is a riot or not. Let's take a look at this. Is this a riot or not? I honestly think that is a riot. Well, there's a bunch of stuff floating around and people throwing stuff around. Canisters, spray bottles. It looks like they're clashing with one another in the middle here. Like, you could tell the difference in the colors of the shirts here. I'm not seeing too much. I just see it more as a disturbance between two factions in the middle of the street, which is nice. It's not happening in the middle of a stadium or a mall or an airport.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like a bunch of pepper spraying going on here. So I can't believe this is still going on, Supreme.
Oh, I know. I think people are just using it as an excuse to get outside. It's like you see the people that show up to just about any demonstration and they have a sign saying, "I don't believe in any cause. I'm just here for the violence." Right?
Like that guy that was
that.
Look at this. They have looks like gasoline inside of balloons or something like that, so they could throw and blow it up and stuff. Holy smokes. So now let me ask you, like, I mean, what are they going to achieve from this? This is like the big question we need to ask. What's like, are they going to get some sort of, are they going to gain any military virtue? Are they going to abolish a certain tax? Are they going to are they going to save the whales? What's going to happen here?
Oh, they're going to save the world, obviously. Isn't that always what these things are about? I mean, Antifa is just 100% AstroTurf, right? Someone pays them to go out there and do that stuff. Proud Boys, they've been deplatformed from everywhere. I don't even know how they coordinate activities. And they were not really, as far as I know, a huge thing. It was just Gavin McInnes and a few guys trying to, and I mean, I would never call Gavin McInnes a conservative, let alone a traditionalist. But I don't know. I don't see them, especially in Portland. I mean, Portland is so far left. You know, you're absolutely going to be going out and, you know, you're looking for a fight, right? So if the Proud Boys are out on the street looking for a fight, they got one, and they probably won more than they lost.
We got Paul S. in the comments saying the stimulus will get more delayed and evictions will happen. Protests are going to get worse.
Oh, they could. I mean, there's lots of money floating around to make this stuff happen, right? And you know, you've got these. There was BLM or some group that was walking around in the suburbs of Portland within the last 48 hours, and they were out on the street beating drums and yelling on loudspeakers and bullhorns to keep people awake. And you know, we're not going away. We're here. And there was people sitting on their porch with their American flags and their F your flag and you know, Black Lives Matter and you know, you white boys need to hand everything over and all that, you know, all that stuff that we've been seeing, right, for the last 4 or 5 months. Now, you've got a few agitators that are getting well paid to go out and keep this stuff. Yeah, Hollywood crises actors, basically. Yeah, it's all AstroTurf. It's all AstroTurf. Nobody really cares, and most of the people in those crowds, I mean, really, except that you know that the police and the government of the city are absolutely going to look the other way, these people would get a beat down they'd never forget. None of this would be happening except that the leaders of these cities are standing back and letting it happen. They're not doing anything. There's no reason that Minneapolis should have burned the way it did. There's no way.
Are they going to allow COVID to blow up in its face? Are they going to actually, is any government going to come forward and say, okay, guys, we kind of overestimated this with the stadiums and a couple of governors in different states have apologized about the refrigeration trucks and overdoing it and stuff like that. Are we going to start to see some of it blowing up in the faces of some areas in the world where they're going to start to say, we're sorry about this, we kind of overestimated this? How much longer before that hits? We know a lot of people know what's happening, but how much longer before we get some sort of a platform that comes out that actually says, "We're sorry, guys. We didn't mean to overestimate this as much as we did."
Yes. Well, it would be political suicide for the people that have been pounding on this for the longest time, and they're not known for accountability anyway. They just shift the story to something else, and the news is there to make sure that their questions, awkward questions, are not broadcast on the 6 o'clock news, right? So they all kind of work hand in hand, or at least they have a nudge, nudge, wink, wink kind of arrangement. The people that are saying this is a restriction on freedoms, their supporters will it will solidify their support. I think the thing will fizzle out anyway, because look at the amount of money that the federal, the unnameable banks and the ECB and the developed world is printing just to try to keep everybody home and keep them from starving, right? That's not going to last. That's gone hockey stick. It's going to have to stop, like sooner rather than later. Yes, they want to assert some kind of political control, but people are losing their homes. People are losing their businesses. It's absolutely going to explode, and I don't believe that they don't know that. And I think this virus will magically disappear on the 4th of November anyway. I think as soon as the election is decided, well, it won't be decided. Trump will win. I have no doubt about it, because who the hell's they got running against him? Trump
Well,
will
they got
absolutely
Vegetable
win.
Joe.
They got Vegetable Joe, and he's just there as a placeholder. I don't think he'll actually be there to, to make the concession speech or the acceptance speech. I think they'll do a bait and switch in October, and it'll be Grandma and who's the second there, Kamala. They'll try it again, because they're already pre-scripting what's going to happen. They're going to say if Trump wins, he cheated, and if they do succeed in election fraud and Trump loses, then they say, oh, he's going to. They're gonna play the 2016 playbook. I think it was Time Magazine or Newsweek or one of those that had some image in September of 2016 about what this bunch of rubes in beer-stained T-shirts out in the streets demonstrating because Trump didn't win, right? Mm-hmm. Well, that's what's going to happen. Is what did happen. Well, it was the pussy hats, and then it was the Antifa, and then it was the resistance movement, and then nevertheless she persisted, and all of this stuff.
Don't forget, around the world there was all kinds of movements happening at the same time too. This is like you got the umbrella movement here, you got the that massive protest, the Gilets jaunes in France going on for years now.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing about Gilets jaunes is it's anti-government, but I mean France is still, as far as I can tell, still solidly leftist. They've just had enough. The taxes are too high, and the government promises to the citizens cannot possibly be met because they're bankrupt. Just like every other country in the developed world, it's all coming to a head. It's coming to a head in Canada. There's too many people that have been counting on these. We brag about how we're so much better than the Americans because of all free this and free that.
Oh, and how we're containing this COVID better than the Americans are.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Oh, I hear that every day. Oh, I would not want to be in the States right now.
I hear that too. Yeah. I wouldn't go
yeah.
to the States now. No, it's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. We've got 1/10 the population scattered over the second largest country in the world. There are people that they only see maybe 5 people in a day. Mm-hmm. If you don't live in Vancouver, Toronto, or one of the
no one lives in Vancouver anymore. I had a friend go there the other day. He said then a lot of everything's boarded up, nothing's happening. It's an empty shell, and he said it was happening before COVID. Before COVID, in November, December last year, he goes every 2 months for business, and he said last time when he went down November, December, everything was boarding up, shutting down, and I think that COVID is a good blanket to show, all these businesses suffered because of COVID. It was already happening. The music was already playing before,
Oh, definitely. Wolf.com. He's a financial commentator.
Yes.
He's one of my day trips, and he had a series of pictures on his post today from downtown San Francisco, and it's just or rather from last Tuesday. I guess the place is smoked out because of the wildfires now, but yeah, it was a Tuesday late morning in San Francisco, and there's just nobody. All the office towers are empty, and there's just a few people on the streets. The homeless don't have anybody to harass. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this is happening all over the world. It's fascinating to say the least, but obviously it can't continue.
Well,
right?
No. Obviously, this Carnival sideshow pony, it's just not. It's gonna blow up. I have a feeling that you're gonna see. I have a feeling that some. A governor or two is going to step forward and say, sorry, we overestimated this, and we're sorry about this. I think something's going to happen. It's going to create a small domino effect, and it's going to eventually reach out. I don't know. There's a lot of furious people out there, especially people living in Victoria, the state of Victoria in Australia. They're in complete shutdown. They have an application on their phone. They can't go within 5 miles of their home. They can't even. It's tough to buy 2-3 days worth of food at one time. They're tracking how much you're spending on food. It's crazy, dude.
It's bad. Yeah. It's
Will
serious
you see
business.
it get like that in America and Canada, or is it just going to stay in Australia and New Zealand?
I think Australia and New Zealand are a good example of how we don't want things here.
Right.
You know what I mean? when you're talking about the state of Victoria, you're talking about a vast land area.
It is.
Right?
It's a pretty big landmass, but there's military checkpoints to get in and out, and you can't even leave the state.
Yeah, and if you're in Melbourne, if you're in a built-up urban area, it's incredibly inconvenient. If you're working at a sawmill or a coal mine in the outback somewhere, and you live in some little jerkwater town, 200 miles from Melbourne, you're probably not noticing it that much. I'm going to level with you. I mean, where I am right now, this has not been a bad year for me.
No, well, me too.
I reopened. I got some time off.
Yeah, you came to visit me twice.
I came to visit you. I had time to come and visit you. Yeah, for a change. I even had time to visit with my boy a couple times. Yeah, it's in the work situation. Well, of course that was a little bit sketchy, and I mean, God, things could change on a dime. They always could, though. But no, I mean, for the people who were prepared and the people that aren't living in large built-up urban areas, this has really not been that big of a deal.
Well, for me, my business has been running very smoothly, doing very well actually. I'm doing better than I expected this year after shutting down for 10 weeks, and then what else? My online sales on eBay are doing really well. My online store is bringing in more traffic to my store. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's like even my accountant's saying, "Wow, you're kind of pulling your socks up in the final latter half of the year here,
Yeah, well, you got a hustle that a lot of people don't have, right? Like you've got your storefront, which it would hurt if that's all you had. But yes, you've got the eBay thing going, and you've been financially hunkering down for 5 or 6 years now. How long have you been in Merritt?
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
I mean that was the whole idea. It was to put a big honking shock absorber under your butt for times like this.
And my garden in the backyard.
Exactly. And this is something that just about everybody on this stream has been doing one way or another. We all know this is coming down. There is no going back to normal, because what we've had for the last 20 years was not normal. It was not something to plan a future on. No wonder. I mean, even if people could afford homes and get married and have kids, you can understand why they don't want to, because they're just totally buying into the idea, well, this is the new normal. No, it's not. It was an extinction burst. It was a death blossom. It was just a grand finale. Really, I mean, everything was going to go hockey stick. We knew it. Why it didn't happen in 2008? Well, they should have let it crash, and they should have let it, flush the toilet, as it were, and all the bad investments and the bad ideas be cleansed from the system. Right. For, just kind of an economic chelation therapy. Right. Unfortunately, they weren't going to let go of their power, and they weren't about to do anything of the sort. So they kept it going. But, the propaganda machine and the bright lights and the big noises and the hip hop and rap and beer boobies and bacon, like this stuff, it's only going to distract you for so long. But eventually reality comes knocking on your door and says, okay, you've got no future doing this. There's nothing in this for you. Elites, as we knew them in the old days, and we've discussed this before, they would build libraries. They would build parks. They would set up soup kitchens. Al Capone, for crying out loud, would set up soup kitchens. Yeah.
I mentioned, I mentioned that in my store, that in Chicago, Al Capone set up 3 different soup kitchens.
Yeah.
And
that's right. Yeah.
I mentioned that today. I actually mentioned that today in my store, and you're talking about it on the stream. What are the friggin' odds? Because a visitor came to visit me from the channel. They came on his motorcycle from all forms of transportation, parked in front of my store, came in, talked to me for a bit, then told me that he watches me. And then he asked me, "Why do you have so many pictures of mobsters, like from the 30s or the 20s and 30s, up on your wall?" I'm like, well, it's better than having pictures of politicians.
That's right. Yeah, the good the really, really clever mobsters. Yeah, they had a longer shelf life too. Oh, pardon me, guys. Yeah, well, and the thing is, mobsters in those days, yes, they were thugs, yes, they were brutes, but they had style.
They had style, man.
You got to give them that. They had style.
And they told you the agreement up front. they didn't tell you it later like the government does.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. They told you how it was going to be. Yeah, Escobar did more for the people. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He did. He actually gave out tons of cash to a lot of the locals there. I had a friend of mine who was a little kid at the time. He lived in that area and basically helped his father buy 2 farms and helped his father buy a tractor and help his father, and he never had to pay it back.
Is that right?
Yeah. Oh, lots of people.
Yeah,
I mean, he bought an entire, he actually assisted in building an entire apartment complex for students that couldn't afford to go to the local university because they couldn't afford to live in the area. So he actually built a complex in the early 80s for students.
Yeah, I could see him trying to. Maybe he was angling for some kind of legit political office eventually. I don't know. I mean, the idea down there was this Robin Hood that was going, sending this white powder north and harvesting dollars from El Norte and bringing them back, right? Redistributing the wealth a little bit.
Well, China was doing that with their fentanyl sales in Canada.
Yes, they were.
They were redistributing the money through the world and buying up property all over in farms and electrical companies. That huge article we read on trends in the housing market, how it was actually by the CBC, and it was huge. It was a huge PDF from the CBC that explained how the factories that are owned by it was owned by the Chinese Communist Party, and then basically the movement of fentanyl and drugs went to the streets of California, Oregon, Washington, and British Columbia, and then the proceeds of the sales were relaundered through properties, and then the other ones that didn't went to South America and other countries to buy up farmlands and different like infrastructure companies, like electric companies and stuff. And
it's using the drugs as a method of economic and political control and influence. Yeah, and all gangsters do it. I mean, you launder the money
through casinos, through other different venues and stuff. Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, which and when you think about that, guys, think about it this way: what does laundering money mean? It means they need to make it clean. They need to make it legit. Right? They understand that they're operating on the margins of society, and they need to make it appear that they know that they can lose the money unless they get it out of circulation in the black market and get it into the cleaner markets and legit businesses and things like that, because the good outnumber the evil by magnitudes.
It does. Like I even said today at the shop, I had to, like I said, someone was visiting, I salute the people, the silent winners out there that are throwing the monkey wrenches into these elite plans all the time. There's a lot of winners out there. There's a lot of people on the right side. There's a lot of people, guys, believe it or not. Okay. I'm not saying they're here watching Mike in the Night tonight, but I'm saying there's a lot of winners out there that we don't know about and you'll never know about, that are out there for the common good, and they're gonna and they never get rewarded, they never get thanked, because no one knows who they are, because they don't want to be seen, they don't want to be they don't want to be jeopardized or found committed suicide with 3 bullet holes in their back.
Oh yeah, that's right. There's a whole lot of we're talking, saying something positive about mafia mobs. No, they're bad people, and they killed, and they got your daughters hooked on drugs and into prostitution, and they got your sons hooked on drugs or got them distributing the stuff and the rest of it. Yes, it's all ugly. It's absolutely ugly.
Hollywood, relax, man. Holy smokes. We're just talking about it like in a way where they did a lot for people too, and they have a good everybody so like I said, there's a lot of good out there. There's a lot of good out there in different levels of whether it's governance or corporations. That's always kind of, again, throwing that monkey wrench in throwing that monkey wrench in there. And we'll never know who they are, because they don't want to commit suicide.
Well, they don't want to end up dead. Exactly right. Yeah, journalists play that game, and they, like Gary Webb back in the 90s, they end up dead after breaking big stories. These people don't want the public to know about those things, because then the people will demand the government do something about it, and the government will have to do something about it. Yeah, Lord Humongous, exactly. While the government was sticking everyone in the corn chute. Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde, John Dillinger, right? Nobody was a fan of the banks in the early 30s. Everybody, or at least a lot of people, understood that they had been completely screwed by these people and were getting absolutely no help from Washington whatsoever. So you had these Robin Hoods, obviously the gutter press would play them up as modern day Robin Hoods as well, right? And freedom fighters, almost that kind of a thing. But it was yeah, exactly, Big Rob. He had style like a white shark has style. Yeah, most of the predators in nature, are beautiful, right? Other than the insectoid ones and things like that. But yeah, the ones that are honed for hunting, there's no question about it. They have a style of their own, don't they? Yeah, so it'll be the same thing. It's you've got the ghetto neighborhoods and people drive around in their big Escalades and hand out money and right, and they're showing off and they're recruiting the young men and the young women for to participate in their little, fast track to paradise, right? And it's all a lie, and it's all so horrible and ugly, and it's frustrating when you hear about good people who have thrown wrenches in the works. There are good people at all levels of government. Right. There's good
definitely
people
is.
in
the
this
police,
world.
in the military. There's there's always someone not pulling that pin on the grenade. There's always somebody that knows that has a higher ground, so to say, and doesn't necessarily follow rules to the T. Let's just say. That's
right. Yeah. And in business and in finance and in all walks of life, there are good people too, and the reason that a lot of these mobs get taken down, like Giuliani and Bernard Kerik in New York,
Yeah.
I think Trump was in on some of that too. They took down some of the big mafia families, right? Those are good things. They are absolutely good things. It would be better if things like that didn't exist. Right. Absolutely. We agree. Yeah, when they go out and they're handing out money and they're doing soup kitchens and stuff like that, it's public relations, and they are enforcing the loyalty and solidifying their support among their usually ethnic neighborhoods, right? Like Capone and Luciano.
So Hollywood is still saying you're praising mobsters and you're telling me to relax, please. It's saying, okay, so what about all the people praising all these politicians out there? And telling them how great when they're breaking their scandals, all these scandals going on and all this. There's no difference between the old day mobster and the modern day politician. If anything, the mobsters dressed a lot better. They had style. They drove better cars, and they actually, a majority of them had their guys in check. Where in today they don't even know if they're tricking or trading today, or they don't know what they're going to get caught on what scandal today.
Well, and the thing is, Mike, if the girls would stop chasing bad boys, there wouldn't be so many of them, would there?
That's true.
Yeah. Don't blame wars on the men, ladies. If you didn't love bad boys so much, there wouldn't be so many of them. Okay, we all have a part to play in history, one way or the other. There's a glamour in that kind of a thing, like the legends of Robin Hood and the band of the Seven Samurai, like Ronin warriors, that kind of a thing. Outsiders of society.
Right.
Right. And you get to the point where everybody wants to be a rebel. Everybody wants to be, edgy. And in the end, it just becomes lowest common denominator. And it's too bad, but that's always how it is. There's always the lowest common denominator, and the higher up in the ranks of power you get, the more lowest common denominator it is. You're seeing these people that are standing back and letting all these terrible things happen, and they're not intervening. They probably can't, because someone probably has some kind of video of them doing something they really wouldn't want other people to know about. This is why I disagree with the idea that elections don't matter and things like that, because why on earth would some of these leaders go through to the lengths they do to cover up what they've done? I mean, if you don't need the support of the people to stay in power, why would you bother hiding anything? Even Stalin covered up his crimes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Exactly, Mitch. Most mobsters observed a code. Yeah, you had family. You had Cosa Nostra.
Yes, God. God,
Omerta, you know? Yeah,
family,
that's
you
right.
took care of family values, all that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It hit close to home, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. And they were in and again, you know, you had the Jewish mob, you had the Italian mob, you had the Irish
The
mob.
Irish mob
You
in
had
Hell's
these
Kitchen.
Yeah, that's right. You had these distinct ethnic communities, and they had their politicians, and they all had their own, you know, Catholic priests and things like that. You know, especially the Mediterranean countries or of origin. But you know, the politicians were all from their you know, their area, their neighborhood, their people, that kind of a thing. Um, yeah, so you had a group that you fell on as a power base. That's been kind of mixed up now. A lot of those old neighborhoods are gone,
Yes.
right? But a lot of them I think will come back. You know,
Well, no,
once
well,
the
unless they reopen European immigration, but the United States closed and Canada closed European immigration many years ago.
yeah, well, once Uncle Sugar runs out of money, a lot of people are just going to leave America.
Yeah,
A lot of people are going to leave Canada. When the money runs out, they'll line up at the airport.
but
They're
there's a
not
lot of
going to
people
stay.
trying it. Like I spoke to I had an email from a couple that have a YouTube channel that moved to Portugal, and they told me that they're there for 2 years now, and they're never going back to the States. They're doing their thing and they're enjoying their lives. They sent me photos of their home and everything, and that they bought for 200,000 euros. I'm like, holy crap! The thing has a pool. It's huge. But it's a
Yeah.
lot of maintenance though. But you know, but still, they're living the dream, right? And unfortunately, they're just not finding it in America for some reason.
Well, the thing is about America is, you know, its national identity used to be something that was tied up. It was always about chasing the buck. I mean, let's face it, the New World is basically a glorified economic zone, you know, calling themselves countries, right? But a lot of that is not because the people chose that. Canada's identity basically got a knife in the back around 1965. And it hasn't quite dead yet, but it's definitely been trampled on a lot. Well, the same things happened in America. The idea was, okay, well, America as an identity, as a nationality, as you know, a nation of neighborhoods and children and motherhood and apple pie and God and baseball and all that stuff. All of those things still exist there.
Mickey Mantle,
Mickey Mantle, Ty Cobb, you know, Lou Gehrig, all that
Babe
stuff.
Ruth.
Babe Ruth, thank you. Yeah, all of those things. But they really, I mean, they became corporatized, obviously, which always, and now the
It's
corporate
not love
type-
or heart.
That's right. It's just the bottom line, and it is war, and it is and now it's woke. So a lot of it is just going to die, or it's going to shrivel up. A lot of things are going to get local again, much more local.
Remember back in the day when you had the baseball players and hockey players and football players all take a cut and pay so they could play for their favorite team?
That's right. Yeah. And they'd all remove their hats from the national anthem, and you know, and when World War II came around, I mean, Hollywood, you know, Major League Baseball, everything, you know, they all signed up and put uniforms on. Jimmy Stewart flew in a bomber. You know, like he dodged flak, he risked his life. That's just how it was. It's like, yeah, I'm a big famous movie star. He probably could have stayed where he was, but he didn't. There was a war going on. Even in Afghanistan, Pat Tillman, he was this football player, right?
Yeah,
like
I remember Pat Tillman.
draft pick or something. Yeah, that's right. And he signed up for the Green Berets or Rangers or something. Like he signed up for the toughest, most dangerous job he could find, and he wound up getting killed. I mean, he walked away from everything to volunteer to go to Afghanistan because he thought his country needed him. I'm sorry for what happened to him, and you know, there's even some talk that he was fragged by his own side, which would be awful. But it's at the same time, that spirit, you know, that spirit wasn't dead,
Right.
right? And I don't think it is here either. It's just dormant.
It's dormant.
Yeah.
Well, Ireland's taking it to the streets. They've already had 5 protests in like 2 days, and Ireland's not and they're taking it to the street for housing affordability. They're actually fighting for affordable housing because housing has gone up 43% in 2 years in Dublin. So the Irish proper is actually protesting for the right thing. Where I'm seeing these protests in America, I'm like, what are they protesting for? Like, what's the deal? What's the end game? Are they like, there's no organization in a way, and we discussed this earlier. These guys don't know if they're tricking or treating, right? But it's all to create this disruption, right? But you still have Scotland. Once in a blue moon, they get out there and they go wave their flags, and they want to show people who's boss. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right.
But
we're still here, and this is still our home, and we haven't left. And sorry, we haven't disappeared, and we're not about to. Yeah, that's that kind of thing will happen more. Politics will get more extreme, so politicians will also get more extreme. If there's one thing they're good at, it's finding a parade and getting in front of it. Right? I'm hoping that populism is as far as it will go. Like you see in America, and you see in, I think you see the stirrings of it in France with Gilets jaunes, right? Gilets jaunes, Salvini in Italy, Bolsonaro, all those people. But Bolsonaro, again, you've got entrenched bureaucracies and political operatives that really, really, really don't want anything to change from what it is. But the people are suffering. The people are losing everything. The people have no hope for the future, and these people don't care. They're out of touch. And out of touch people aren't going to dominate anything. If they collapse the financial system, so that they can create chaos to take over the world, they all have names and addresses. Right? I mean, it's just one of those things where that's a dangerous game to play. And I don't think the current batch of elites, so far as I can tell, have changed their playbook in decades. I don't see it. I don't see them pulling it off, because they're not. I mean, the old ones, they were real crispy critters. I mean, they were heading straight for hell and reveling in it. The new ones are corrupt. The new ones, you look at Joe Biden. Here's an old crook, right? Well, look at his son. His son's a crackhead.
Really?
Right?
Yeah, I heard he was in some sort of mix-up back in the late 90s.
Yeah, and he, his brother died tragically, and within 3-4 months, or with some short period of time, he was banging his dead brother's wife. Like, there's no honor in a family like that.
Wow, that's
with
a country with 350 million people. You think you'd find somebody else? You know what I'm saying?
You think you'd find somebody else? Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It just, to me, it's not classy. It's like they don't even care about appearances. They don't even try anymore, because they're used to having the media and all of these people deify them and beatify them and make them seem like they're these crusaders, while their constituencies are living in feces and needles and unclaimed garbage. Right? Like, it just makes no sense. Where housing and things like that are concerned, housing is not a market. Housing is people's homes. It's their communities, it's their villages, it's their towns. It's the places where they have their childhood memories.
That's exactly what it is. Laying roots, starting families.
Yeah, that's what housing is. When you start talking about a national housing market, it's like, what are you talking about? Like no, these are people's homes. This is something that everybody has to have. You can't commodify that. You can't just sell it to foreigners. You can't do that. That's treason. Just good luck finding a media outlet that would call it that. But if the politics get radical enough, they will start getting called out. I think that Trump is just the first wave. I don't even think he's that radical, and I don't think I hope it ends there. I hope it doesn't get more radical. Right? I don't really want to see blood in my streets. I don't think it's necessary. The thing is just leave people the hell alone and let them figure it out. These people can't do that. They've got too much power, and they will absolutely not let go of it. It's going to have to be pried from their hands, unless they just finally take a hint and die of old age.
Right. Like I think George Soros is 90 now?
He's 90. Like, who cares?
Yeah.
All right, so he's paying some agitators to go out and stir up trouble. Well, they're the same gullible clowns that were doing it in the 60s. There's nothing new there. Like, these people, I mean, they live in this envelope of unreality because they've been insulated from, nature red in tooth and claw their entire lives, and they think they're all warriors and revolutionaries. right? Like it's just pathetic.
You gotta-
The 60s hippies were at least most of them had some kind of military experience, right? Because there was a draft in those days.
Right.
It's just yeah, like you can't you just can't be so apocalyptic all the time. That's
right,
all.
right.
You know,
Sometimes
give
sometimes I get like that once in a while, but then sometimes I step back and say, you know what? There's a lot of good people out there, and we need them. We need these people to stir the pot. And again, we'll never know who they are, but we won't forget them. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's right. We need to remember those good people that that toiled and sometimes even died in obscurity to try to make things better for us, or at least keep the evil from winning. It is a war. It's a war at the elite level. It's a war at every level.
It's a war on our information war. It's a war on how our information gets distributed to us. It's a war on what they want to tell us, whether it's through the media, whether the media is dying. The media is trying to get on main social media now, and they're not doing well at all. People are thumbing down everything they put up.
Yes. Yeah, most of those major broadcasts and speeches and stuff like that, they turn the comments off.
Yeah, because people and then they even turn off the there was that Trudeau speech the other day about instead of him coming forward and stepping down as the prime minister for all the scandals, he's talking about how he's spending billions of dollars on making masks for more COVID.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's right. And it's just pathetic.
And
here
how
we
many
are
thumbs down that thing got? I got 196 thumbs down and 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I believe it. I completely believe it. It's terrible. And the most terrible thing is you see this mediocrity and you see the stupidity and this insanity that they're trying to force down our throats. And more people are just saying, no, I'm not having this. Right. But but the biggest attack, the biggest war that's going on right now, and I think that you would identify with this, Mike, and I know a lot of people on the stream would. The war is for your soul.
That's right.
Right? It's for your heart. It's for your psyche. Whatever you want to call it. I'll just call it soul because that's what I think. They don't want you to sell your soul. They want you to give them your soul and borrow money from them to do it. Look at these people that are permanently mired in debt because they went to college for some unemployable degree. They're trapped. You're 22 years old, you're $150,000 in debt, and there are no jobs, and the jobs you can't find pay $10 to $15 an hour. You're screwed. You're screwed. You had 4 years partying, and now you're screwed for life. How is that not borrowing money to sell your own soul? Like to sell out your own future. You know what I mean? It's just a scam. It's just so many scams. And people, in the end, if you're going to find truth, you've got to look within yourself first. I've said it before, and I'll just repeat it for anybody that didn't hear it. We live in a time of a moral free-for-all. If you live by a code, if you have any kind of self-discipline at all, if you have, internalized directives that you live by, you're the one-eyed man in the kingdom of the blind. You have an incredible advantage. This is the most free and liberating time for you because you're not falling into the traps that everyone else is. Right? I mean, you're going to in a world like this, you're going to operate defensively. Right? You're going to be constantly have your head on a swivel and and not stand out too much because even if you haven't done anything wrong, it's not necessarily the government that's going to punish you. It might be your neighbor.
Right.
Right? Like think of American politics. Like you've had families break up and marriages break up over who they voted for. Like it's the stupidest damn thing when you think about it.
Yep.
But it's just people's lives are so meaningless that they look for things like this for meaning. It's like virtue signaling. It's just more virtue signaling. It's the world's going. No, the world is not doing anything. The world doesn't even know you're standing on it. Relax.
Yeah.
Okay, we are a very thin and actually thinly spread out film of life on this planet. Okay, like we're not really going to change the climate. The sun has the final vote on that last time I checked.
Yeah.
right?
The sun
and
has
there's
its
nothing
own
you can do
elliptic
about that.
orbit. The sun has its wobbles. It has its sunspots. It has its own effects that affect us here on Earth. That's why we had a little ice age, a mini ice age, and a giant ice age.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Holocene and and stay low, stay smart, stay safe. Yeah, absolutely. That's as much and to riff on what Hefe said there. Yeah, that's as much spiritual warfare as anything else. You have to be tough. When I say relax or chill or this is liberating time, no, you have to be tough. You have to be vigilant. You always did. You see people walking around like lemmings that haven't found their cliff yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like they're just heading into the massive traps and all kinds of chaos. But look at the way people have screwed up their lives even when times were prosperous.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. That's
because
very true.
They just lost their spiritual roots and their community roots and their family roots. And it's kind of like, well, you know what? Go back there. It's if you're trying to say you're in Kansas City and you want to go to Los Angeles, right? But you drive east instead of west. That's not progress.
No.
You have to stop the car and you have to turn it around and start going the right way. And it doesn't matter if you're 5 miles out of New York City, you're going the wrong way. Don't keep going. Turn the damn car around and get where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. There's your metaphor for life.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, Supreme, I'm going to let you go. It's been a very eventful hour here on the show.
Yeah, I don't know if we answered too many questions or solved too many problems, but it's always good to interact with you and everybody, Mike.
That's right. Thank you so much, Supreme. I appreciate it.
You bet. God bless everyone, and just keep up the chatter. We'll get each other through it. Okay.
We will. Thank you. God bless you. We'll talk soon.
God bless. Good night.
Bye. That is Supreme Cannon coming on the show. And we had him on 2 weeks ago. We said, I got to get Supremo on tonight. Hopefully the Raven may be free next week. Who else? Matthew Elu. We're going to get, Matthew is in the comments. We're going to get, we'll get Matthew on if he's available next week as the first caller. Hopefully we could get Layla on next week. We'll get a whole roundup of new talkers next week. Hopefully we could get on, who else could we get on? Okay, we got Timothy calling. Timmy!
Michael!
How are you, my brother?
Yeah, good.
How you feeling? You doing okay?
Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Yeah, it's been a while since we spoke. What's going on there? Are you where are you? Are you in Sydney or Melbourne?
I'm in Sydney, Western Sydney.
Are you guys shutting down there or what's going on?
Yeah. Lockdown.
Are you guys still on lockdown?
We're not in lockdown, but when you go to the shops, everyone's got masks on.
Okay. Are they going to do a hard lockdown like they did in Melbourne?
I don't know. My mum says we're not in lockdown, but everyone's wearing a mask.
The most important thing you need to answer is: are people wearing masks while driving their car?
Oh. I don't know why you'd need to, unless there's other people in the car with you.
I'm just joking, Timothy. So how's your health? You feeling better?
Yeah, I just went to the doctor. I got a chest x-ray.
Good. I'm happy to hear that you're doing better. We haven't heard from you in about 2 months now. So I just, yeah, that's good. I'm good to hear you're doing well. What else is going on? What can you tell us is going on?
Oh, not too much. I got a couple of pinball machines.
Pinball machines?
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have an arcade in your house?
I don't know, Revenge from Mars.
Nice.
Revenge from Mars.
Well, I gotta come down there. I gotta come down to Sydney sometime and play some pinball with you.
Yeah.
Do they accept quarters, American quarters, or Australian quarters?
My South Park one takes $2 coins and 20-cent coins.
Wait. You got a South Park pinball machine?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so visiting you. I'm so going to Sydney to play pinball machines for like a whole week. Well, that's good to hear, Timothy. That's good to hear. It's good to hear from you. I'm going to let you go because the show's winding down and I want to go to sleep.
All right, mate.
Well, you take care. Stay out of trouble, eh?
You too, mate.
All right. Take care. That's old Timothy. He used to call us on the show like around January, February. He was having a lot of chest breathing issues. He's feeling better now. He thinks he had the COVID. He's feeling better now, which is really good. Okay, let me see. Who can we get on next week? I want to get on... I want to get some first-time callers on next week. How about that? We'll have open lines. We'll give out the Skype. We'll get people to call in. We'll get maybe Stephen Thomas to give us an update. We'll get Lord Humongous on. We'll maybe get Lord Humongous on too next week if he wants to come on, give us an update on what's going on. But I would like to actually get a few first-time callers on the show next week. Get some fresh blood out there. Maybe get some... So we got Jasmine here, just finished work. We got Big Rob New Zealand. Tim has got a money maker. Yeah, man, those pinball machines make money, man. We got Kaylin Killen saying, thanks again, Mike. No, thank you for being here. Yeah. Kaylin, I don't exist without you guys. So without you guys, Anna Key, Western Sydney is vigilant mode. So we'll get Anna Key on maybe next week if she wants to come on. I want to get Blunt News back on soon, too. I want Blunt News. I want Blunt News on the show next week if he can make it. Get an update from him. Lord Humongous saying, I want to get my hair looking as sweet as Mikey's. Yeah, it looks pretty. I got it like, just like, comb back, just like, like, hey man, listen, I'm not feeling well right now, like that kind of look, just woke up. But I want to get Layla on next week if that's possible. We should get Hollywood on the channel. We need to get Hollywood. Hollywood keeps commenting on things here. We should get Hollywood on the show. Alan Howick is always commenting. We should get Alan Howick on the show too. Alan, call in next week, buddy. Guys, add me on Skype. Oh, we got John. 23Z. Masks mandatory at Martlaw. It's not Walmart, it's Martlaw. You see, he's got it right. Also, BC Superstore starting next Saturday. Lord Humongous says, I'm glad Supreme Cannon is doing good. Killen says, you rock, Mike. No, everyone rocks. We got to get over to Timmy's place in Sydney, Australia and play some pinball machines. That's what we got to do, man. Nathan saying, you can always find another job. You never know, guys. Jem Rose, this is a very important question in the comments. Is BC still part of Canada? That's a very logical question to ask. Honestly. Mitch Bannon says, thanks to the caller, Stephanie, Ralph, Supreme, and all. Great high-energy show, Mike. Thanks, and good night. Thank you, Mitch. Have a good night. We'll get you on trends in the housing market. IDK777 says, please call in next week, Hollywood. Yeah, we need Hollywood to call in, man. Yeah, Lord Humongous has got something right. They should bring back arcades. Yeah, man. Jefe Salcedo in the house. I'm getting fair price on silver, and my LSC bought some old school Libertans and some Silver Town rounds and some constitutional silver, 90% silver quarters. Nice. Mr. Singh says, Mike, you look like Al Pacino in The Godfather 2, Sicilian. We got IDK saying, who is the pinball wizard? Well, I'll play you guys for money, man. I'll play pinball machine. We'll play $10 a ball. John 3023Z saying BC belongs to China. Yeah. Jeff Salcedo. I don't know. Jefe Salcedo. Do you actually dance salsa? I dance salsa. I dance really good salsa. I lived in Miami. Remember that, guys. I'm a good salsa dancer. And merengue. And bachata. And samba. And kumba. Yeah, guys, you know what? Next week, I'm going to put this on the line right now. Next Mike in the Night, I got 3 minutes left in this show, so I'm going to wrap it up. I want Tyler on to call in. I want VMen293 to call in. I want Hollywood to call in. I want John23Z to call in. What do you got to lose right now? What do you got to lose? Honestly, to call me. You don't have to tell me your real damn name, man. Just call into the show. So we got Metal Gear Mark III saying cryptocurrency is going to displace all banks. Okay, well, Metal Gear Mark III, you're calling in next week. You've been saying you're going to call in. I think I have you on Skype. I want Mike Banks on the show, too. Mike Banks, I think he's outside smoking right now. But I want Mike Banks on the show, too. Alan saying, I love gold. Who doesn't love? Mr. Singh says, I got to watch the show from the beginning. Yeah, roll it back. You guys are not going to believe this. So the show right now, the whole YouTube thing has changed its platform on its head. Right now, the show has 1,368 playbacks. So we had 1,368 people jump into the show in the last 3 hours. 1,369. That's amazing. Good. Lord Humongous is going to be working on his property. Make some videos for your channel, buddy. Maybe we could get Mr. Singh to call into the show next week, too. Who else? Globetrotter's Journey says, whatever happened to the coin collection? Made profit on it? Oh, I bought another coin collection the other day. Nathan's asking, Mike, is Portugal a nice place to live for English speaker? I have friends that, I mentioned it earlier in the show. There's an American couple that moved to Portugal. They're having a tough time with the language. They live outside of Lisbon. They're having a really tough time with the language, but they're saying they're learning as they go. And I mean, like, you know, so it depends. Like, if you go there and maybe if you're still young and you could find someone to marry or be with or spend your life with type of thing, and you're in that situation, then we could learn from each other type of thing, if you're in that situation. But if you're an expat, you're getting old and you want to retire, maybe, if you want to live in a small 1-bedroom with a balcony, kind of sit there, just sip on some coffee in the morning, watch the people go to work in the morning, that's a different situation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, someone says, great comment section tonight. Yeah. Mr. Singh says, thank you. I want to talk about the U.S. elections for sure. Why not? We are less than 70 days away from the election? 60 days away from the election? What's going to happen in the next hour? You know, what's going to happen in a week? You know? It's never mind a week, an hour. We got to take life 1 hour at a time now, the way things are going. Yeah, someone says, I've been to Lisbon, so no problems with English there. Yeah, but it's like once you leave any major city you go to, for tourist areas, people do speak 3-4 languages. I noticed that a lot. Like, they speak a lot of languages. And I'm just reading the comments right now, guys. All right, guys, we're wrapping it up. It's been 3 hours now. I am starting to close my eyes because I am getting tired. And you know what time it is, folks.
Gemini King, Mike in the Night, and the Gemini crew. Ooh.
Shout outs to Gemini crew. Thanks for the song, the Mike in the Night song. Special shout outs to all our commenters tonight.
night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another turn, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Don't you know it?
Everything's alright when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night.
Oh yeah, big woo to everybody.
Giving the world light when you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Sometimes things are just absurd, so let's just talk about the world, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Oh yeah, you're here with us tonight on Mike in the Night.
Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Mike it through the night, you're here with Mike in the night. Let's just talk about the world, give this page another curl, 'cause you're here with us tonight.
Remember guys, take care, and if you can't take care, please stay safe.